Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Player's Take, episode 307. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone, joined by my co-host, Montrell Rice. Montrell, how are you doing this week, sir?
I am tired as fuck. Started going back to the gym after not being in the gym for about 3 weeks, so it's fucking rough right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
You still waking up at 5 too for work or whatever?
Not this week. I only did it 2 days this week. 2 days out of the week this week. But I'm trying to wake up at 6 o'clock or 6:30 anyways, because I want to start walking and jogging around the neighborhood for about 30 minutes at least twice a week, twice to 3 times a week. I'm trying to start doing that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I'm just trying to stay in shape. I mean, I'm about to be 36 next month, so.
Yeah, it's gonna get harder and harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a roaring, raging thunderstorm outside my house, so if I disconnect, that you know why.
Oh, that's probably gonna be heading for us soon too. So
probably
hit y'all first.
Yeah, probably. So cool. Well, yeah, not a lot going on with me. Just working, playing games, trying to live life. So why don't we, because we're recording on Wednesday, and it's actually kind of late for us, so let's just jump into the show, man.
Right.
So for those of you who haven't listened before, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to video games. We post at 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcast app of choice. And if you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter at The Player's Take, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01. We will answer at playerstake01@gmail.com, and we'll answer your question on the show. All right, Marshall, let's jump into what we've been playing. You've been playing anything new this week?
Actually, yes. I don't know if it's on the list here or not. They just closed. Yeah. So I haven't played Metaphor, but I mean, obviously,
you're not gonna finish it. You're not gonna finish it.
I am. No,
it's over, bro. It's over. It's
over.
No. You've been in the same spot for about a month. You're done.
See,
you're done,
if you let me finish.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm taking some days off for my birthday.
Okay.
And I'm not doing anything for my birthday.
Okay.
So, starting Friday, I will have like a whole bunch of time to myself. And I figure I just need that for Metaphor. Which is wild, which is insane to say, but I need that for Metaphor because, yeah, bro, it's just an insane, it's a really intense game, a time intense game. Yeah, I have to grind and stuff like that. I mean, I'm gonna do. I have one save, right? So I have like a couple of different saves actually, but I have a save like the start of the 30 days as well, just in case I fuck up everything, right?
Yeah.
But
all right, like okay.
No,
hold on. If you're gonna go ahead. You know what? You finish it up. Sorry.
So this is my plan.
Okay.
All right. This was my plan. I had to stay. I wish we had a
whiteboard. I'd write this down on the whiteboard. Yeah, Montrell's plan for Metaphor. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a plan. I had a plan rather.
Yeah. Okay.
So I had to save. I'm like, just in case I fuck everything up with my 30 days as far as like leveling, I do everything out of order and blah, blah. I have this save where I can go back at the beginning of the 30 days. I think I'm 15 days in now, 15 or 16, 13 to 15 days in. So now I'm going to start prioritizing. Like I did a little bit of different things in there, but I'm going to prioritize like just getting the bond levels up. And then I'm going to try to just beeline it for the dungeon. And while I'm in the dungeon, I can still do all their archetype stuff in the dungeons. And then, just fucking get the royal archetypes that I want. I already have 2 royal archetypes. I think I have 3. I have the main characters. I have Hawkenbirds. And then I have Strolls. I really want to get Hesme's fucking archetype because I use him as an evasion tank, and I heard his archetype is like super good for that shit. So his royal archetype is super good for that shit. So I really want his. If I can get his, then I think I can just beat the game. Like I don't need to do anything else. If I can just get those three or those four, maybe I'm gonna go for Junas if I can as well. But if I fail, right, I'm just gonna turn difficulty down. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
That's what I told
probably
you.
gonna turn it down. I'm gonna turn it down.
Bother.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna do it one time, and if I fail, I'm gonna turn it down to storyteller. I know you can't change it after you go to storyteller. I'm just gonna go to storyteller, and I just really want to beat the game and get it out the way or whatever. And if I feel like my pride is just so bad after I beat the game, I have the 30 days, save there.
Oh my
I can.
You're not gonna do this, okay? You are not gonna go back to the beginning of the 30 days and play all this again. This is literally 30 or 40 hours of gameplay you're talking about. You're not doing this, okay? Like, well, I don't know why you think you're gonna do this. Like,
probably not, but I still have it there.
Literally not gonna do this. Like, you need to save before you go to the final dungeon, and that is your that's your go back and try again, like save, because you can grind endlessly in the final dungeon. There's no blockers or anything like that, or restrictions. So
okay. So with all that being said, though, Metaphor is on ice until Friday.
You're not gonna beat this game.
I am gonna beat this game. Okay. So when Friday hits, I'll be done with the game. I've been playing Ninja Gaiden Black. I'm already
I know.
I'm already about to beat the game. The game's about to be beaten probably by tomorrow. The end of tomorrow, I can beat the game. Because I'm already on chapter 16. There's 17 chapters, so I'm already on chapter 16. So after I beat chapter 17, I'll be done playing the game. I will not, despite my best efforts, I will not try to beat the hardest difficulty. I'm already playing on very hard mode. And then there's Master Ninja mode, I believe. And I think that's a 1 hit you die or 2 hits you die mode. So I would not try that, even though everything in my loins is telling me, Montrell, do this. This is your calling. I will not do it because I want to play other games. I have other games I need to play. I have like a ton of games I need to play. I need to play Dynasty Warriors because I downloaded that shit.
Oh yeah, that did come out. Yeah.
I still want to play Dragon's Dogma 2. I have that. I have not touched it.
Same.
Yeah, there's just a lot of games I haven't played. So, yeah. Play League of Legends. I don't think we played this week, have we? We haven't played this week, have we?
We played Friday. Did we play on Sunday? Yeah, we did. We did
on Sunday. Yeah, we played on Sunday.
We played on Sunday. Yeah. We didn't play the whole night though. I think we played Friday, Sunday. We haven't played otherwise.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun on Friday when we were playing the fucking ARAM shit. That shit was fun as fuck.
That was fun.
Maybe we need to do that more because that shit was really fun.
Or dude, if we had enough, if we had 10, we could just play like customs against each other too, like normal.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Normal Summer Reserves. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. I do not like the new character Mel. I mean, we say this about every new character that comes out, but this is the first time where everyone in the community is like, this motherfucker is overpowered.
We didn't say this about Ambessa, dude.
No, we didn't say this about
Ambessa.
Wei was actually underpowered.
I think Smolder is a broken character that doesn't work. Like, I think that character sucks fucking dick. Like, I'm convinced. I have never, ever seen a Smolder pop off in a single fucking game. And you know how many dumbass ADC motherfuckers play this character? All of them. It's just, he's so prevalent. Like, it's crazy. He sucks. He's a terrible character. I don't understand why people play him. Every time we have a Smolder in our lane, we pretty much almost always dominate the lane. Like, almost every time. Like, it's so.
Yeah, the only reason they kind of pop off sometime is because the team, like their team, 4-man dives us all the fucking time because we're like shit on them so hard in the lane. Yeah, but Mel is completely busted. I played her once, and Jesus Christ, my first time playing her, I went like 10-1, and I was just like, this is
Yeah.
not fair. Like this champion is not fair at all. Her Q is long range as fuck. Practically has no cooldown. Um, her W is a mix of Aurelion Soul's like little star thing that he shoots out straight ahead,
Yeah.
and then like Lux's E and her Q in one. So it's crazy. It stuns, slows. If you get hit by it, like on the side of it, slows you. If you get hit by it in the middle, it stuns you.
Yeah,
it binds you. And then her E, I forgot what her E does actually. Oh, I'm sorry. Her W rather is the fucking shield thing. So one thing they did not tell us about in the fucking champ spotlight, even from the official League of Legends thing, is that this shit completely negates physical damage attacks.
Yeah.
Like you can jump on her and she does her W right before she gets hit.
She can use it on like Alpha Strike, like Yi Alpha Strike, or like a Jin fourth shot, bro. Like
I saw her use it on Garen's ult, and it negated the entire ult, bro.
Did it reflect the entire? Him? Did it reflect?
No, it just negated. Him? It just negated it.
No, this shit needs to be tuned. I'm sorry. This is that I get the idea that projectile attacks are reflected by it. I get that. That's fine. That's the nature of the ability, but it should not be able to be used for auto attacks from melee characters, especially. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, fucking reflecting an Alpha Strike? Like, we saw Mel do that, I think. And it was like, I'm like, what in the fuck? She just immune to damage when it's active, basically. It's crazy. She
doesn't reflect the attack onto the user, but she just negates the damage.
It's like, so overpowered, dude. It's crazy. It's like, it's better than her ultimate. Like straight up.
Yeah, it is better than I think they should make it her ultimate. I think they should swap them.
It literally should be, and it should be on like a fucking 50 to 100 second cooldown, you know? Like it's too much. Like I think it's way too strong. If they're gonna leave it in the state it's in, it should be her ultimate. If they're gonna change it and like get rid of some of the bullshit we're talking about, okay, it can just be your W still, but holy shit, dude. It's so dumb. It's really frustrating to play against when you're playing certain champs too, man. Like, because like when I'm playing Varus and she's in the game on the other side, like I can't even fight her. I literally can't fight her. Like I straight up, my only option is to auto attack her. That's it. I can't use any abilities because the second I do, they just get reflected onto me. It's like I can't dodge them. I'm fucking Varus, bro. You know, so it's like if I shoot my ult and she reflects it on me, I'm bound, you know, and I'm fucked at that point. She just wins the fight, you know? So it's like I literally can't even use my kit against her. I have to wait. I need somebody else near me, and I need them to bait it out for me, basically, so I can use abilities. Like, this is the thing with her. I think she's, like, one of the most ultimate 1v1 champs in the game. Like, it's like, she just nullifies so many characters if it's just you versus them, you know? Yeah, I don't like it. I don't know. I think the other thing with her though, I wouldn't have as much of a problem with this if her damage wasn't so insane, you know? Her damage late game is fucking crazy, bro. Like 2 abilities and you're dead, you know? Straight up. If you get hit by the ball and then she hits you with the like machine gun thing, she just executes you. Like she does that much damage. The execute just goes off, you know? It's like it's fucking nuts, man. Like it doesn't feel good. Now.
I don't know if they nerfed her some more. I know they did a stealth pat or a quick fix on her.
Yeah.
But it looks like her current win rate right now, at least according to op.gg, is at 49%.
Yeah.
But her ban rate is at 44%.
Yeah. That's crazy. That is insane. Does that not tell you, like, I don't know. No, this feels like a Varus champ where her win rate should be like 44%, and that's like normal, you know? Like that's what Riot considers normal. She should be one of these champs. Because I have a feeling she's gonna get fucking destroyed. Like they're gonna end up gutting this entire character, and it's like complete waste because they completely overtuned her.
I mean, it's their fault though. I
don't understand what type of testing they do. And they can't figure this shit out before a character releases. It's insane. I don't understand. You play like 4 games against her, and you're like, she's like 20-1 every game. You know, it's like I don't I don't understand, Riot. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. The W is was really like it's called rebuttal, but it's the negating of the physical damage. I don't know how that didn't make it through testing. I don't think that was intended. I don't think that's intended at all.
Yeah.
But it says in her thing like Mel forms a barrier around herself, reflecting projectiles from enemies, prevents her from taking damage, and gives her movement speed for however many seconds. So maybe
so it actually prevents damage. That's crazy, dude. How many seconds?
It doesn't say how many seconds though.
Okay.
But so it's only on a 35% or 35-second cooldown. At max rank is on a 23-second cooldown. And that's base numbers.
Yeah.
I feel like this shit should have like a minute cooldown. I'm sorry. Like
yeah, I know. They don't usually do that with normal abilities, but yeah, I mean this is in that realm though where it really should be considered because yeah, I don't think it's like it. This kind of thing shouldn't be available every time you even skirmish with somebody or like try to trade with somebody. It's too powerful, you know?
Yeah, I mean 35 seconds is insane. I mean you're gonna build cooldowns on her or ability haste on her anyway. So it's like by the time it gets to the fifth point, that's just gonna be up like every 20 to 15 to 20 seconds. Like that's crazy to me. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm not a game designer though, but you know, I don't know. It's just fucking insane to me.
Hey man, Freak says she's fine, doesn't he? Like,
dude, like, I'm almost about to say like Arcane was a mistake, dude. Like this is crazy. This champion should not be in this game, dude. I'm sorry. Like at the state that she's in, this is one of the most broken champions I've ever seen be released. To be honest with you, like the last champion I saw that was this bad was probably Samira. Yeah, it was probably Samira. Samira's pretty bad.
The sad part is like she's not even really an interesting character in Arcane. Like she's one of the most uninteresting characters in the entire show. You know?
Yeah.
To me, and it's like. Yeah, I mean, maybe that shouldn't have any relevance on how good the character is, but it shouldn't have relevance either way, whether the character's relevant in the show or not. You know, it's just.
Well, she is insanely popular.
It seems to
popular.
Yeah, but I know it seems to have an impact on the way Riot designs these characters, though. Like, and it's just a little frustrating. Like I think this is my primary problem with League of Legends, actually. All the things we complain about, I'll put it aside, right? From a game design perspective, balance perspective, what have you. I do not like how much Riot lets external factors impact the way they design the game. I really don't like that at all. Like that is their entire design philosophy. It feels like they care way more about pro than they do the rest of the game. It feels like sometimes like that shit is like super important to them. When a new character comes out from like one of the shows like Arcane or something, they're fucking ridiculous. They're completely insane. Then they do this like new gotcha thing with Jinx, you know, specifically Jinx from fucking Arcane and give her that skin or whatever. And it's like, I feel like there's too much of that there. I don't feel like they're fully focused on the game being a game, you know? It feels like and you know what? I'm starting to sound like Tyler One because I think this is where he's at with League too. Is like I think he's sick of Riot just like promoting shit. This is what they do. They just promote shit all the time. You know, they make an OP character to promote their stupid show. You know, it's like it is stupid.
They did it with Jinx. They did it with fucking Vi. At one point, Vi was Kate. Fucking crazy. Kate, I still think Kate's crazy. We don't see her because you ban her every game, but the game she's in, those games are like super tough to win because I think she's just fucking insane. But yeah, like Mel is just, I don't know, man. I don't know. I would say that I'm a fucking silver player, so I'll shut the fuck up. I'm obviously trash, but it's just like,
hey, we're climbing though. We're climbing.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. Like to have to waste a ban on her is annoying as fuck because there are other champions. Like Aurelia is fucking insane right now, and I can't even ban her because it's either Aurelia or fucking Mayo, and it's like which one of the devils do you want to go against?
Volley is another one. He's crazy
Yeah.
right now.
Oh my fucking god. Volley's always a fucking problem. This stupid fucking polar bear.
No, I feel like he was okay a couple patches ago though. It's like right now he's specifically like in a really bad state though. You know, I think it does not feel good. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean the game's still fun. Don't get me wrong, I'm enjoying playing, but I'm trying not to play too much. I don't want to play like 6 nights a week, you know.
Yeah.
So, but all right. Anything else you're playing?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, so for me, besides League, still playing Wuthering Waves. I am making my way through the Act 2 or Chapter 2. I don't know what they term it. Chapter 2 content right now, which is the 2.0 story stuff that just came out this month, actually, which is pretty good. So this game 1.0, the story in 1.0 is really bad. Really, really bad. Like it's bad enough that I feel like it turns players off. 2.0 is like I'd say it's a significant step up. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's great. It's not. Like it's fine. Like it's serviceable, but it is a lot better than 1.0. 1.0 was just like trash, dude. So from that perspective, the game, I'm enjoying the game. The grinding element of like, you know, upgrading your characters and stuff is I'm enjoying it more than Genshin personally, and like Honkai Star Rail that with the Hoyoverse games. I do think it's a little bit more palatable in this game. The grind is not as severe as those games, especially the Echo side, the Echo / artifact or relic or whatever you want to call them. You know, depending on the game side of things, is a lot more palatable in this game for sure. It's not perfect, but it's easier to do because you don't need to spend your energy getting echoes, you know, so you can just go around the open world and farm them yourself. So which is a cool element to the game. So playing World of Warcraft a little bit too, got my Hunter to 59, so I'm very close to level cap now. I think one more session will probably do it for me, and I'll be 60 and might actually start running some dungeons and stuff on the Hunter. Yeah, I'm having fun with it. You know, it is WoW is WoW, but I feel like it's just I don't know. I feel like it's weird that classic World of Warcraft is this special because it really is. Like it's just something I feel like I'm gonna be able to come back to whenever. Like it's not something I'm constantly gonna play necessarily, but there's definitely gonna be periods of time where I come back to classic though. And play it. Like I was actually thinking about playing on Blizzard servers and trying out the Season of Discovery stuff because there's some really cool shit they're doing there where they're adding like they've added like new content into classic on Season of Discovery, and there's like new dungeons. There's actually a new one coming out soon called Karazhan Crypts, which they're doing interesting stuff with this dungeon. They're gonna be basically you're not gonna have a mini map, and you're not gonna be able to see, like it's gonna be pitch black in the dungeon. And you and your party have to navigate the dungeon basically with very limited light sources together, and you have no mini map. So if you guys get separated or something, like somebody might die or something like that. So there's some cool stuff they're doing with classic and Season Discovery as well. So there's interesting stuff happening in the World of Warcraft world. So I'm having fun with that as well. And then still playing Kingdom Come Deliverance also. So yeah, last week I got out of what I thought was the prologue, quote unquote, which I don't think I'm actually 100% out of it yet. But I ended up, so at the end of the prologue section of the game, a character, you're kind of reunited with a character from earlier in the game, and you talk to them, and there's actually a DLC that is centered around this character. So you talk to them, and then they'll tell you the story of what happened to them in the prologue. So I accidentally started this, not realizing what it was, and turns out that it's basically playing through the prologue again from their perspective, but it's like 3 times as long as the actual prologue. So I'm like 5 hours into this like 6 or 7 hour DLC at this point, and I'm like, I don't know what I get out of it at the end. I don't know if you get anything. So I'm just like doing this, and I'm like, I feel like I'm stuck in time right now because I'm literally not progressing the game at all, and I'm playing through like the concept of this DLC is cool. Don't get me wrong. Like I think it's actually a pretty cool DLC at the end of the day, but I regret a lot starting this because I'm not playing the game. Like I'm not playing the actual game yet. Like I'm still not, and I've been playing for a week. Another week. So I'm like, so I'm a little frustrated. Actually, I'm like, it's kind of gotten to the point where like I don't want to play the game. Like I'm like, I don't want to keep doing this fucking DLC, man. I want to get out of it so I can go back to like playing Henry and like adventuring as Henry. So I am getting a little annoyed there, but I think I'm close to the end of it. You play through like 3 days of time basically in the game world. It is what it feels like. So yeah, I think I'm close to the end of that. Once I am, I'm gonna start hitting the rest of the game, the actual game, proper. So, yeah, it's just the other thing though. This DLC specifically there've been some really frustrating points because the game is really janky, and the way certain mechanics work, it's just not clear. Sometimes when the game gives you an objective, sometimes it won't tell you where to go, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that necessarily, but it can be really unclear how to actually get to your destination though. Like even to get to the point where you can get to your destination. And it's like the game doesn't give you very much to work with, so you kind of just have to go feel it out and try some things, and sometimes that'll result in you getting killed or something, and you have to go start over from like a checkpoint. I do think there was one particular point yesterday I was playing through where I had to go find somebody, but I had to like go around a whole bunch of enemies to do it. And dude, it was like I spent like 30 to 45 minutes trying to stealth around these guys, and I could not find a path to get through them without them being seen. So I ended up just fucking sprinting through them all to get to the destination, and that ended up working. So the game doesn't 100% click sometimes. Like there's definitely some moments where I feel like the game kind of fails a little bit in what it's trying to do. But when it works, it's really cool. Like there was a section actually earlier on in the DLC where you have to go into a mine, and you have to sneak into the mine, and you have to steal a torch, and then you have to walk around the mine. But if anybody sees you, they'll like, be like, why are you here? And they'll try to throw you out of the mine, or they might try to fight you or something. So the mine was huge, humongous area. Like it was like this labyrinthine thing, multiple paths. There's guards all over the place, miners all over the place you have to avoid. So that was actually a really cool part of the DLC, was like getting into the mine and trying to figure out how to get where I needed to go inside the mine. Because they don't tell you where to go. You have to kind of feel your way around and just try different paths. And then ultimately you end up getting to the right destination. But it took me a while to get through that part too. So there's some cool stuff when it clicks. When it doesn't click, it can be a little frustrating. So yeah, but still enjoying the game overall. I do like the character you're playing as. Like her story is really cool, and interesting. So yeah, it's a cool game. All right, Montrell, let's get into the news here. We got a bunch of news stories this week. Our first one is PlayStation. So we got a couple moves at Sony. It has been announced that on April 1st this year, Hideaki Nishino is being elevated to the sole CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, so PlayStation. And then Hiroki Totoki is being promoted to Sony CEO, so he's over everything. And then Herman Hulst is going to remain as CEO of PlayStation Studios specifically. So Nishino's getting elevated. Herman Hulst is staying in place. I don't necessarily know how this affects the games per se, but it does seem like Herman lost something here. He wasn't demoted or anything. His title's not changing. His job function's not necessarily changing. But when you were co-CEOs with somebody and that person gets elevated above you and you report to them now, that definitely is in the corporate world, that is an L. You're taking an L there. So I don't know what it necessarily means for Holst. But yeah, it is. I mean, I'd say it's certainly notable. That Nishino was elevated. So Montreal, what do you think of this move?
I honestly don't know what to think of that move. Yeah. So you said Herman Holst is being demoted, right? Or not
Well, no,
demoted,
he's not.
but
He's not being demoted, but he's base. He kind of is in the sense that like he was co-CEOs with Nishino, and Nishino's elevated now. So like he reports to Nishino now. So
I honestly think that's a good move.
Yeah.
I think that whole debacle with him, and I mean his bias is just showing in the company, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they kind of had to ring that in.
Yeah.
Especially with like Guerrilla Games and and in my opinion, I forgot the name of the game. Concord.
Yeah.
I think that was like it just makes sense. Like you got to have some type of consequence because of that, in my opinion. I think they're trying to save face, so they don't want to really call it demotion, but
yeah,
you got demoted. Yeah.
No, I agree. I totally agree. And I don't think Herman, I think he was questionable to begin with to be in this role. And yeah, I mean, dude, the decision making from him that we know of so far, at least the things we know that he supported, like Concord and obviously all the shit happening with Gorilla, it just feels like he doesn't feel. I just don't feel like he's the right guy, man. I don't know. I don't like the direction Sony's taken with him in a position of power. And I mean, he's been in a position of power for a long time, several years now. So it's like, yeah, Jim Ryan was CEO, but I think he wasn't a games guy, right? He wasn't a content guy. Like he was the business guy, right? At the head of everything. So I think he probably took a lot of you know, uh advice from Herman more than likely, and that affected some of the decisions that were made more than likely. So and I mean, from the reporting we know with Concord, like Herman was all the way behind Concord. He thought this game was going to be fucking huge, and like he literally couldn't have been more wrong about that game. Like straight up could not have been more wrong about it. So
I really want to be a CEO one day.
And just understand how these guys make decisions, because it seems crazy to me, bro. Like they live in a bubble, I feel like, and they don't talk to anybody that isn't at like the C-suite level, and it's like you can't run a company that way. I don't understand.
But it happens. It's not just this company. It happens in so many other.
Oh,
companies.
I know. In my experience, personally, like this is exactly what I'm talking. Like what I'm talking about is what's happening with me. And it's like it boggles the mind, because you understand the gravitas of what you're doing as like what your role is, but you don't understand, like you don't take the people that actually make the company go, the employees, the people who are at the bottom rungs. They're the ones who make the company move. They're the ones doing everything, It's not the leaders doing anything. They're making decisions, of course, that affect all these people and change direction and stuff like that. But how are you going to make an informed decision, though, if you don't know what the people below are doing, like what their jobs are and how they operate? It doesn't make any sense, And I just feel like these guys are kind of like, I feel like PlayStation's been in this boat for a while. They ousted all these people in the middle of the PS4 generation, and there was that giant power struggle that happened. And it resulted in people, I feel like, that didn't necessarily know what they were doing running Sony. And Jim Ryan was one of them. I think it's pretty clear now that he was not taking the company in the right direction in many ways, and which is why I think he got pushed out at the end of the day. And yeah, I think Herman is another one that I don't necessarily think he's the right guy. I don't think he has a good vision. And Sony is unfortunately is going to be dealing with the repercussions of this for the rest of this generation, dude. Like where the first party lineup for PS5 is going to be sparse. It is going to be one we look back on and go and scratch our heads and go, whew, what a waste of a generation. You know, like that's how I think we're going to feel at the end of this. So,
Yeah, like I don't know. Sony's making some weird moves. I actually think this is the most correct move so far. Um Honestly, I think, see, if it was me personally, he would have got either moved back to Gorilla or fired.
after Concord, yeah,
Yeah, bro. Like that's
yeah, man.
that's like $400 million, right, or something.
If I was in meetings with him and he was pumping this game as much as it was reported that he was pumping that game, and yeah, that game came out and did what it did, he would have been done, dude. I would have been like, yeah, Herman, you're either going back to Gorilla or you're not working at Sony anymore. Like, see you later, homie.
Straight
like,
up, dude. Yeah.
Like straight up, man. Because yeah, it's yikes. Like it's a big.
I
Like
mean,
that
he has
kind
to have
of
some
thing
serious pull to just stay.
He must. There's no other explanation. I mean, what a black mark, you know, on your reputation. I don't understand. Like, it's crazy. So who knows, man? I mean, he's been with Sony for a long time, so maybe that's part of it, you know.
I mean, I understand. I totally get that. That's why I said go back to Gorilla, because it's like I understand you don't want to lose somebody like that, right?
Yeah.
But that's $400 million, bro.
Yeah, it's the biggest disaster in Sony's history, like from a
yeah.
financial standpoint for a game specifically, like a game failure.
And I don't know, man. I just feel like they didn't play test it, because I feel like anybody who came in there was just like, especially the guy with the raincoat jacket. If I was an executive, bro, I don't know anything about games, and I see the guy with the blue rain jacket and the gun, the fat blue guy with the rain jacket and the gun, I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? This is our $400 million game right here.
I forgot about that character, bro. I totally blacked that out. I forgot about that character, dude. You just brought this back into my brain. I literally blacked that out.
What is this guy?
Holy shit, dude.
And then like the generic Latino soldier guy, dude. Like,
soldier man.
And then we have astronaut with a rocket launcher. Like, that's what she was.
Bro.
She just had a jetpack and a rocket launcher and looked like an astronaut. What is this?
Oh my
god! It looks like, I would have said, it looks like one of those video games you see on a TV show that's not real, but they need something in the background when their kids are playing the video games. Yeah. That's what it looks like to me.
For sure. That's what Sony should sell it as. Like, you know. You need a game to play in the background? Like, here's Concord, you know? Make some money off of it that way.
So, oh my God. I don't know, man. Like, it makes sense that he's that Nishino's the fucking sole CEO. If it was up to me, I would have been like, get this guy the fuck out of here. Like, go back to Gorilla, bro. Like, we're not going to fire you because you've been here for so long. We got a lot of respect for you, but you cannot be leadership here at all. Like, that no, that's off the table. But I don't work at Sony, so good for him.
Fair enough. All right. Moving on. Ubisoft. They closed another studio, and there has been a bunch of layoffs. So they are closing Ubisoft Leamington. I don't know where this is. And then they're laying off employees at Dusseldorf, Stockholm, and Reflection Studios. And this is going to be about 185 people. So they said that these are targeted restructurings at the ones that aren't closing. And here's the quote. Quote, as part of our ongoing efforts to prioritize projects and reduce costs that ensure long-term stability at Ubisoft, we have announced targeted restructurings at Ubisoft Dusseldorf, Ubisoft Stockholm, and Ubisoft Reflections, and the permanent closure of Ubisoft Leamington site. Unfortunately, this should impact 185 employees overall. We are deeply grateful for their contributions and are committed to supporting them through this transition, end quote. So Leamington has been around since 2002. They were called Freestyle Games. They were actually acquired by Activision. Developed DJ Hero, Guitar Hero Live, and then they were sold to Ubisoft in 2017. At which point it contributed to Hyperscape, Watch Dogs Legion, Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, and Skull and Bones. So it doesn't seem like they made their own games anymore. They were more just a support studio. So this is all in the wake of obviously the issues going on with Ubisoft. They're cratering sales, and then the rumors of talks between Yves Guillemot and Tencent for some kind of purchase or acquisition or dissolution of the company and sale of IP, something along those lines going on. So this seems in line with all of that talk that either they're trying to make themselves look more attractive maybe on the balance sheet, or they're just cutting the fat because they can't afford to keep these studios open or these employees employed. So what do you think of all this, Montrell?
Next story. It's like, no,
I mean, fair enough. I mean,
yeah.
I just want us to keep. I just want to keep on this though. That keep an eye on this Ubisoft thing. There's not a lot of analysis here necessarily. I agree with you, but I am including it because it is. This is a big story still, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a little bit of both. Trimming the fat and trying to make themselves look good on the spreadsheet or on the white paper or whatever the case may be for a potential investor or someone to buy them. I think Ubisoft is done. It's gonna.
I mean, it's Assassin's Creed Shadows or bust, right? Like, there's, dude, if that
I don't
game
think
flops,
Assassin's Creed Shadows can save them. I think the damage is already done.
Yeah, but if it flops, they're fucking.
I think it's gonna flop. Unfortunately,
I agree.
It can be the best. Yeah, it can be the best looking game, the best gameplay, and everything of that nature ever. Like the best Assassin's Creed that we've probably ever seen in our lives. It can be all that. I think it's still gonna flop, because of the characters, and how everything is right now with gaming in general. I just think it's gonna flop. So, yeah, unfortunately, this is probably going to be their last game as Ubisoft, Ubisoft proper as we know it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm sorry. You got this fucking brain worm in my head now. I'm thinking of the fat ski jacket guy from Concord. And this is what I find. The memeing in Reddit, bro. Oh no, bro. Fucking game.
It does look like the fucking.
It kind of does, dude. It kind of does. Oh my god! I just typed in Concord fat ski jacket guy, and that's what came up. That was the first result. All right. We'll keep on in the Ubisoft situation. Let's move on to our next story. So this was the weirdest thing. This came out of fucking nowhere, dude. I had no inkling this was going on, and then this comes across my feed. I'm like, what? So Heroes of Newerth is coming back. And it's called Heroes of Newerth Reborn. And it is coming from Conger Studio, which I think was the original name of the studio that was making this game. And they are working with they're relaunching the game. So let's see. I'm just gonna read the quote here. Quote: after years of community support and the dedication of a passionate fan base, we are beyond excited to bring Heroes of Newerth back to life. This isn't just a relaunch, but a reimagining of what the game can be in today's competitive gaming world. From the visuals to the network performance, we've worked hard to bring the best possible experience to both veteran players and newcomers. So the game's coming back. It's going to have 80 heroes when it relaunches. And they're working with a company called Garena on it, and they are going to be on the iGames platform, which is seemingly some kind of crypto platform for video games,
brother,
of some sort. So this announcement did not come back with the aplomb that they were hoping for. I don't think, because yeah, dude, when I went on Reddit and started looking at people's reactions, and man, the player base is so upset. They're so disappointed that this is like tied to some weird crypto fucking scheme or whatever the fuck. Which I don't want to get into that whole discussion. There's definitely a discussion to be had there, but in today's climate in video games, anything with the word crypto or NFT you're fucking done with gamers, bro. Like you're not gonna convince them that there's anything good you could possibly do with that technology. So I don't even know why they're trying this. This sucks because when I saw it, I got excited. I sent it to you guys. I was like, shit, I might be willing to check this shit out, dude. Like, this is like a blast from the past, man. This is like the in between of Dota and League, and I'd be very interested in trying that out again, and I may still check it out, but dude, it's just like, I don't know. It's like tainted by this iGames platform thing. So I don't know. What do you think
Yeah,
about it?
I don't know. I'm gonna let it sit and simmer. I'm looking at the gameplay. I never played it before.
Yeah.
Looks like a faster version of Dota, which I mean I'm kind of down for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but not like League adjacent, if that makes any sense. It's more Dota adjacent than League, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not really privy on the platform. I don't really trust crypto platforms or anything to do with crypto because like serious hacking has become a thing in crypto and it's just not safe. It's not a safe platform unless you're like using one of the exchanges or something like that. Like if you try to use your own digital wallet, like it's easy to get stolen and everything of that nature. So yeah, I think what I think they're gonna try to do is like tie the skins to crypto or like the blockchain, almost akin to like what you remember what Ubisoft was trying to do, where you could have like NFTs, yeah. And I think they're gonna try to do something like that. We're like, oh, you can sell your skins for NFTs for real money, and it's like, okay, like cool, bro. I guess.
Well, like, okay, I don't want to get too deep in this conversation. Like at the time, because I argued that there was some positive. There is a positive spin to the idea that I could see this being a good thing in the long term. Because I hate the fact that you can't trade or sell skins in most games. Like that sucks. It should be a thing. You're buying something and you don't like the way this shit works sucks for the players because you don't technically own it. It's licensed. You literally, if the game shuts down, you lose it. If you don't play the game, you can't do anything with it. So it's like, the concept of NFTs in games could be a good thing if done by the right company. It's just, again, none of the companies trying to do it are doing it the right way, nor do I trust them to do it the right way. So ultimately, it's an L. It's just a giant L, and nor do I trust this company either. This is just, I'm sorry, this is not that way to introduce this, in my opinion. I don't know. Like hiding it wouldn't work either. So it's like, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. You kind of need to announce it right when you re-announce the game. It's probably the best way to get people past this. Holding on to it and doing this hype trailer saying, oh, Heroes of New Earth's returning. Like it would have got people unreasonably hyped. And then at some point you drop the blog post about the NFTs and shit. And then the game, everybody like loses their fucking mind. So I don't think that would have worked either. That would have been a bad way to do it. So it's I don't know. It's a weird situation at the end of the day. So
yeah, I mean, I agree. I think you should be able to buy and sell your own skins and stuff like that.
Which you don't need NFTs to do that, by the way. The thing, like, because Valve does this already, right? You can sell your skins from Valve games in other games, like games on Steam. So
yeah.
Like you could do it with PUBG, you can do it with Dota, you can do it with Counter-Strike. You can sell your skins for Steam Wallet money, basically, which amounts to real money. You can't get that money out of Steam though. That's the key thing, right? Like you can, but it's shady and not supported by Valve. If they catch you doing it, they'll ban your fucking account. So it's so you're stuck within the Steam ecosystem, but you can buy and sell the skins. The thing that NFTs and crypto would do would allow you to have currencies that you could transfer out of the games and out of these platforms to actually turn it into real money, conceptually. But again, don't trust any of these companies to do it the right way. So it's like a greed driven thing and it all feels like a scam at the end of the day. There's been way too many of these fucking coins that are scams from celebrities doing this shit. And the thing is, crypto's dangerous. Like it's just a dangerous thing to put your money in because there is no financial foundation for it in any way at all. So you could just lose you could wake up one day and Bitcoin's worth fucking $1, and you lose all your fucking money, bro. Like that could happen. It's probably not going to happen, but it could, you know?
But the simple fact that somebody could just rug pull, like we don't know who the creator of
Absolutely.
Bitcoin is.
100%, dude. Yes. Right. Yeah.
And that creator can just come out today and be like, you know what? I'm tired of crypto. I'm tired of Bitcoin, and just rug pull the entire thing.
Yep. And it's because it's decentralized. Like it's not tied to anything specific. So like, yeah, these things are like the security of it is very much in question. So yeah. So I don't have a problem with people's consternation about it. I just wish it was a little more nuanced and it wasn't so just knee jerk when you see it, you know?
Yeah.
You know, examine it case by case. I'm kind of with you, Montrell, right? Like I'm interested in this. I kind of want to see how it comes out and what it looks like though. So yeah, it's kind of is what it is. We did not get a date or anything like that or a time frame for this. It sounds like they're doing some kind of like beta or alpha test of some sort, or stress test or something like that right now. So I don't know. This could be coming in a few months or it could be later in the year. I'm not sure, but yeah. So, anything else on this story?
Nope.
All right, let's move on. This is kind of our big story of the week. So there was a presentation last week from Apellion CEO and analyst Matthew Ball. He did a presentation on the state of gaming in 2025, and he talked about something that has kind of caught the zeitgeist a little bit, where he said, quote, some game makers hope GTA 6 will be priced at $80 to $100, breaking the $70 barrier and helping $50 titles move up to $60, $60 titles to do $70, $70 to $80, etc. Package game prices have never been lower in real terms than they are today, even though budgets are at an all-time highs and player growth is stalled. GTA 6 could reestablish package video game prices after decades of deflation despite rampant cost growth, end quote. So I guess just give me your initial reaction to this, to that quote.
Disgust. That's my initial reaction.
Okay.
But okay. Like to go on a deeper level. I mean, we've looked at the numbers. We do Circana numbers every month. Yeah. And we also look at reports like every quarter or something like that about digital games. And I was under the impression for a long time that packaging was also included in the cost of the game. You know, when you're packaging, putting it in a box, shipping it, and getting into a retailer and everything of that nature, I incorporated that into that price. There's no reason why GTA or any other game should be $70 on the actual PlayStation Store. You see what I'm saying? That's a digital platform. Yeah. You're not, I guess you can say server space or whatever. I don't really count that, or anything of that nature. Maybe like if the game cost, I think games should be like $50 if they're digital. That's like me being nice. Honestly, probably 45, but $50 to $60, $50 to $60 because it's on the platform. So they should stay at, if you're getting the game digital, it should stay at $60. If you're getting the physical, then $70 because of all the shipping and all that stuff included with it, or whatever the case may be. That's my opinion. I, in no way, shape, or form, think games should cost $100. I don't care if it's the Kobe edition of 2K. Rest in peace, Kobe. I don't care. I'm not paying $100 for a video game. I haven't paid $100.
What about the $100 for like Civ 5 days or Civ 7 5 days early? You don't want to pay $100 for 5 days early access.
The only way I would pay $100 for a game, or maybe even more, like $150, if I'm getting a physical statue or a figurine, a collector's edition. If I'm getting something like that, right, that's when I would dish out the money, because like if like say if Xenoblade Chronicles X was coming out and they have like a model of one of the mechs that you can use or whatever, I would pay $150 or $200 for that collector's edition. I'm getting a physical, tangible item, and then other collectibles is with it. But if it's just the game, no, and I'm not even pre-ordering that game. And I God knows how long I've been waiting for that fucking game, and I'm not pre-ordering it. I'm just going to buy it day one. So the simple fact that they want GTA 6 to be $100. First of all, I need the industry to stop dick riding Rockstar. Like, please.
Yeah.
It's just the whole that whole thing was just like, oh, we're just gonna dick ride Rockstar. We can't wait for them to up the ante on gaming. It's like, stop dick riding them. Second of all, me personally, I don't even think GTA is worth $100. I love GTA 5,
Yeah.
but I don't care about, and I love Red Dead Redemption, right? But like Red Dead Redemption 2, they're touting like, oh, you can see the balls in the fucking horse swing back and forth while you're riding. And it's like, bro, I don't really care about the
Yeah.
horse balls on the fucking, I don't
Yeah.
care about that shit, right? And it's like, yeah, you can do a lot of shit and you can interact with the world and everything of that nature. And I appreciate that about GTA and about, Red Dead Redemption and everything of that nature. Their worlds feel very, very lifelike. And you see where that money goes. But I think there's no way in hell this game should be $1 billion budget game. I'm sorry. It's just insane to me. And I just don't. This is all my initial reaction, by the way, y'all. Like,
No, this is a deep conversation.
Because I've been holding this for a week, and like, I don't think a game should be $100 out of the box. I don't think that should be the standard for. If this game costs $100 out the box, okay, but there's no way in hell Madden should be $100 at the box. There's no way in hell the new Star Wars Jedi Outcast game or Fallen Order game should be $100. There's no way in hell like a Mario game should be $100. Like, there's just no way I'm paying $100 for one game. I think when I buy a $70 game, my mouth kind of like, I kind of bite my tongue a little bit now. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Like, that's crazy. Like, I used to be able to buy like at least 2 games a week or whatever. Or if I wanted to buy 2 games, I could, right? That's like $120. That's $140 now if you want to, $150 now if you want to buy, if you add in tax and stuff like that. Like, because most of the time it's $70 and then the taxes go to like $76 or $75. So you're paying $150 for 2 games. And it's like, that's a bill, bro. Like, do I want to pay a bill or do I want to buy a video game? And that's what some people have to choose, honestly. So I think I think they're just fucking ridiculous. Lower the video game cost, lower your fucking CEO executive salary, suck a dick. I don't care. But I'm not paying $100 for a fucking video game. You're out your fucking mind.
Okay, so question for you. Do you think GTA could get away with it though? Like, do you think
100%, yeah.
Yeah, so like let's say it's $70, you have 100% of the people that are going to buy GTA 6. If they go to 100, what percentage do you think that goes down to? 90%? 85%? I don't think it would affect sales that much in terms of volume personally.
Yeah,
I think people would.
85%.
I think they would get away with it. I think people would still pay $100 for the game for sure.
Yeah, I'll say 80 to 90% of people still buy GTA and the non-collector's edition. This is like the standard edition for $100. God knows what other editions are going to have with GTA.
Yeah. Okay, so I agree with you in a lot of what you said. I think this is an extremely deep issue though. Like, this topic is extremely deep to me. So number one, I can't understand like how we got here. I'm thinking about the history of games and just like over the course of my life, like how the industry has changed and evolved, and the ballooning of game budgets, like the budget to make a game, is one of the most stark things I feel like I've seen in any industry. Like, it's crazy to me that, to your point, GTA 6 has $1 billion budget. That's justified because of how many copies it's going to sell, right? I mean, we're talking about a game that's potentially going to sell 100 million copies, like literally, So the budget being that large for that game makes sense. They're going to pay it back. It's not going to matter. Like, if they want to charge $100 though, for the game, like they're just being greedy at that point because they could literally charge $40 and they would make billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of fucking dollars of profit, you know. So I don't really like that argument from that perspective. And to take it smaller, the idea that a game like Spider-Man 2 that is an iterative game, you know, like we're talking about a game that's not being built from scratch. It's being built onto a game that already exists. Like they're using Spider-Man 1 as kind of a basis and a starting point for making Spider-Man 2. The idea that that game takes 250 to 300 million dollars to make is crazy to me in the modern day. Like what would a new Spider-Man game built from scratch take like what would the budget for that be? 500 million? Like, you know, like now, like what would it be? Like 500 million? Like that's it's crazy that budgets have gotten to this point because Sony's not Rockstar, okay? Like Spider-Man was a big game, Spider-Man 2 was a big game, but dude, they're not selling 50 million copies a game these games. They're selling 10, maybe 15, 20 at their like peak, you know? And while that's huge, 10 million on a game, 10 million copies on a game you're selling for $70. Let's assume it's all full price. And they're all digital. Like you're talking 700 million. So you're only doubling the budget like in terms of your profit. You're only getting like 400 million. That doesn't even include like this is an unrealistic. This isn't even a realistic like estimate I'm even making here too because you got to take into account the taxes that they would have to pay on said profit. You're not taking into account the licensing costs that they pay to Marvel for Spider-Man. You're not taking into account the fuck. I lost my thought, but there's a few factors in there that bring that. Oh, the physical copies. Yeah, it's the third thing. The number of physical copies you actually sell because those you're not making $70 on those. You have to pay for, you know, the whole supply chain has to get their cut of the physical copies. So, you know, the 20% of the 100% that you're selling that are physical are not coming in at $70. You're not making $70 off those games. You're probably making 40 maybe or 30, you know, at the end of the day. So it's like those are significantly less valuable sales for Sony. So you're not making 400 million in this example if you take all these factors into account. You're making like maybe 150 to 200 million, you know, at the end of the day. And it's like on a game, is that worth it? You're spending 300 million to make 200 million. It's like, okay. You know, it's like that doesn't make sense at a certain point. And as these budgets continue to balloon, I mean, we heard that Spider-Man 3 is going to be like 350 million or some fucking crazy shit. It's like as these budgets continue to balloon, like you can't keep raising these stakes. The as this dude said, player growth is stalled. Like you are not growing your player base. So you're not growing your potential customer base at all. So you cannot expect that the next game is going to sell 15 million copies when the last game sold 10. You can't expect that. Especially for certain franchises, you know, like The Last of Us is a good example. Last of Us Part 1 sold 20 million. The Last of Us 2, I'm not even sure broke 10. You know, it's like, so when you have that kind of degradation in sales from one game to the next in terms of sequels, that's a problem, you know. And I'm specifically focusing on Sony, but this applies to other studios as well, like the Ubisofts of the world making Assassin's Creed and shit. I mean, I'm sure the budgets of these games are extensive, like very high, like 200 million or more probably for AAA games like that, you know. So it's this can't continue in the industry, and the answer is not to charge more for games. To me, that is a path we could take, and that is probably the path that these suits will take. But to me, that's not really understanding the underlying problem. If you just continue to raise the price and raise the price and raise the price, people are going to stop buying games. They're not going to be able to afford it, and B, even if they can't afford it, they might only be able to afford one game now instead of two, you know? So your sale might be taking a sale away from a different company where they might have bought that game, you know, back at like now, you know, when it's $70. It's like, so these are things, yeah, sure, you're going to eat, but then the industry as a whole is not eating, you know?
Well,
We're,
I think this is where the industry, because I really want before I forget, I want to touch on a point you made where you
mhm.
said uh, the consolidation of the stagnant player base, and it's
Yeah,
not just video games that do this. We see a lot of different services and products do this where they have a stagnant consumer base, and instead of trying to do things to get more people in, they bleed that existing consumer base no matter
right.
how loyal you are to they
Yeah,
bleed them dry. And I feel like that's what they're trying to do now. They see, I mean, because I'm pretty sure they have way more extensive research than us as far as like statistics on player base and data and all that shit. Like we see what where the industry's headed just from Circana numbers over the last 4 years. We saw it.
yeah.
We saw the huge jump, and then we saw the very very steep decline in games,
And now
and
stagnation.
now it's stagnation,
Yeah,
and so I mean I know they already saw this like a year or two before it even happened. So or maybe they didn't. I don't know. But yeah, I just think that's their goal. That's why they want to push this $100, because now they want, before they exit the industry and go to other industries, maybe they move back onto the movie industry, the TV show industry. Um, they want to bleed this industry dry until there's nothing left of it. Um, and I mean, unfortunately, that's sad. Um, but I feel like it's probably going to happen. And unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, there are other ways to save the industry, but unfortunately, the most common way is you have to let it crash and burn, then build it up again. Even though you do not have to let things crash and burn to make it better again. You can always repair something. Um, I don't. But I just think,
the industry would have to change significantly for that
yeah, and I
to
really don't
not
think.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it has to be forced, which is the crash and burn I'm talking
yeah.
about. That's a forced change, rather than actually recognizing your own failures or the trends and making those adjustments. Um, but also the part two of this, which is sad, and now these are just a couple of comments on the IGN article.
Yeah.
Uh, but people are actually like willing to do that. One comment says $100 is not a lot of money these days, at least not compared to 20 years ago. I paid $70 for the Legend of Zelda on an N64 not too long ago. $100 for 50 to 100 hours of entertainment is honestly really cheap. And I'm really tired of this equation of hours to game equal how much money I pay.
Yeah.
So are you saying your time is worth an hour or $1? Let's just say it is $100 with the gameplay. Like that's how much your time is worth. Um, I mean, time is
Yeah.
valuable. Like invaluable. Actually, you can't get that back. The 2 or 3 seconds I spend talking right now, I can't get those seconds back. Right. So, uh, yeah, like me giving you $100 for a video game, it has to be one of the best video games of all time. And there's just no way any video game can live up to that kind of hype and everything of that nature. Um,
It's tough, yeah. And it would be judged for that price, you know.
yeah, and someone say like, someone said, "I agree. Just release the game, by God. I honestly would pay over $100 for GTA 6, so that the fire would be underneath Bethesda and CD Project Reds and other developers." And I just don't understand that logic. Like, why would you want this game to be $100 so you can put fire under other games' butts? Like under developers' butts. That's like the opposite of what's going to happen. We're going to get Skyrim 6, or I'm sorry, we're going to get Elder Scrolls 6, and it's going to be a bug ridden mess, and it's going to be $100. Like, is that what you want? Like, I I
Well, I
don't
think I actually think they would take longer to make the game actually, because they want to make sure it's worth $100. So it's like you're gonna end up delaying the game. You know,
I don't think that. I don't think so.
I don't
I
think
think we will
Bethesda
get
would
this.
do that, but
I mean,
CD
I think we'll
Project
get
might.
this. Yeah, CD Project might, but I think we'll get the same quality of games, and that's my, and this is my issue. when I put in the chat earlier, is it the gamers or is it the suits and everything? I mean, DJ made a really good point with like the trends, and both of y'all made really good points actually. But it also comes down to you know the gamers as well allowing this to happen. Now I'm not saying storm the fucking company property and be like, oh, we're not paying $100 for GTA, and it's like, no, there's other ways you can like, and like one comment in here did make sense. He was like, you know, just protest with your wallets, just wait for the price to drop. And it's like that's if the game comes out and it's $100, or if games come out and they're $100, Justin, I'm legitimately just gonna wait 3 or 4 months and just buy the game when it's like $70 or
I
$60.
probably just wouldn't buy it. Period. Like I'm interested in GTA, and I'll probably buy it. Like I may buy it at 70, but yeah, if it was 100, I would be like, yeah, never mind. I'm good. You know, like dude, even Metaphor, like I bought that game on Black Friday week, like on Thanksgiving week for $52. I think it was on sale like a little bit,
Mm.
and that was like a month after it came out. So it's like I wasn't even really willing to pay full price for that game. Like I don't really pay full price for games that much anymore. It's about to happen in the next couple months. Like there's probably 5 or 6 games I'm planning on buying early this year for sure on launch, but it's not nearly as many as it used to be when I was younger. I will say the one thing though, there's one part of this quote that I do think is true, where he said package game prices have never been lower in real terms than they are today. I think that's actually very true because $70 today is very different from $70 back in the 90s, in terms of like real value. And games back in the 90s were fucking all over the place. A lot of them were 50, 60, 70, $100 depending on the game. They didn't strictly adhere to an MSRP back in the day the way they kind of do now. So I do think this is true. But the thing is, the answer isn't necessarily to just raise prices. Like we were talking about in the chat with DJ. One of the things I brought up was veteran developers are very expensive nowadays, dude. Like in the game industry, if you're established and you've been working in games for 15 or 20 years, like dude, you're making 150,000 probably at a starting point. If you're a really experienced strong developer for like whatever level design or art or something like that, like that's legitimately probably your starting point. I mean, we're talking about at other companies what a fucking like a low level director would make, just for like a developer, of the game. So I do think salaries in games are like bloated to some degree also, and that's contributing to this problem because I mean that's what your budget is. Your budget is basically the burn rate, your yearly burn rate multiplied by the number of years it takes you to make the game, essentially. And a large amount of that burn rate is your staff cost, for their salaries. So that is an element to this as well. I'm not saying that people should make less money necessarily, but it's ballooned to this point where that's an expectation of salary, and companies paying that are they're ballooning their budgets by as a result. And I did see some things out there too that like a lot of companies are starting to opt for younger devs because they don't cost nearly as much. They can get 3 people for the cost of one veteran, basically. And that's a significant thing. So there's other elements to this too. I think the one other thing I wanted to bring up though in relation to this is like we did do this to a degree that companies feel like this is necessary and that they might be able to get away with this. They just
Mm-hmm.
need the biggest boy in the room to do it first, to justify it. And that is microtransactions, live service games, gotchas, fucking Fortnite, Dota, League, all these games where they're free games, free to play games where we spend asinine amounts of money in these games. You know, $70 for a full price game doesn't really seem like a whole lot of money to spend on a full game experience when you're willing to spend $100 on fucking 50 rolls in Genshin Impact. And it's like, so these things don't add up This is why I understand where the companies are coming from, because they see this shit and then they're like, bro, I'm giving you a $50 single player experience and you aren't willing to give me $100 for it, but you're willing to spend $100 on this fucking gotcha game, for nothing. Like, so there is an incongruence there that I think companies see, and that's a part of the reason you probably see this kind of sentiment out there as well. It's not directly referenced here, but I think that's a huge contributing factor to it, because the cost for single player games is not even on the scale with the cost or what people are willing to pay for shit in free to play games. So that's a huge element as well to me.
Well, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I don't know if I can. I'm trying to say it without like not really. Fuck it. I understand free to play games and microtransactions. I really do. If I spend $10 on Fortnite or $10 on League of Legends, I may not spend another $10. Me personally, this is just me, for like another month, because I don't really buy too many skins on even on League of Legends. I don't buy too many skins, at all.
Yeah.
And I in Fortnite though, like when I go into Fortnite, there's always something I can buy. If I play Fortnite or whatever. But so I can imagine people spending like $70, $60, $70, $80 a month on Fortnite. I can see that. But again, those are free to play games. You can play that game without ever having to pay a penny, right?
Yeah.
True. Same with League of Legends. You can play that game without even having to pay a penny on like skins. Maybe you want to buy champions, and that's a totally different story. But if you have Xbox Game Pass, you get all the champions for free. So it's like, yeah. The issue I have though, which actually proves your point, is like games like Call of Duty, where that is a $60, $70, $80 experience out the box.
True.
And then on top of that, you're selling me Terminator and Predator skins
for $30.
For $30. Fighting games, the same thing, right? It used to be a thing where you just unlock the skins or unlock different costumes. Now, they have a motto. They have a motto where, a new character comes out for a new season. You got to buy the new season. You got to buy the new character in fighting games and stuff like that. I mean, Tekken's is like kind of notorious for this. I mean, all of the fighting games now are notorious for this. You already paid for a $70 experience with Tekken, and now I have to pay an additional every season $10 to get the latest character. And then if I want like, new skins and costumes or whatever, I got to pay that money for it as well. So I agree with you. If I go out, it just started thunderstorming here.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So I agree with you. And I agree with that fact that like gamers did that too as well. I don't know if the free to play games are the cause of this, but I definitely agree that the paid games are a cause of this.
Well, they're the starting point. Yeah, I'd say the free to play was the starting point.
It definitely was a starting point. Now, me personally, I don't know what the solution is, because it's like, well, Montrell, if you want continued support of Tekken, then we have to support somehow. We want new characters. We want balance updates, and that shit ain't free. And you know what? You're 100% right. I don't know the solution for that shit. Maybe this is the way to pay for it. However,
I don't know.
I don't. I mean, Smash is in that conversation as well. I don't think. First of all, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't think games are meant to last forever. I don't think games are meant to last 3 to 4 years.
You mean
I think it's
service?
unreal. Yeah, even paid live service games like Tekken or whatever. We used to get
Apex, right.
Apex, like, but I'm talking about like the paid games, right? So like we used to get for fighting games. I don't know if you remember, but how many versions of fucking Super Street Fighter 2 did we get? 20 billion versions of that fucking game.
Yeah.
And some people bought every version of that game or whatever, right? And honestly, this is going to be a hot take. I would rather go back to that than whatever the fuck we're getting. I'd rather they release a new version of the game, a completely new version of the game. But then if I say that, right, it's like, well, you hate Madden. Madden's a new version of the game every year. And it's like, you're right.
Yeah.
So then what do I do about Madden? But I'm not getting a new version of Madden every fucking year. You know what? I'm getting the same version of Madden every fucking year with the roster update and Madden Ultimate Team. So am I getting the same thing? You know, am I getting balance changes? Am I getting this and stuff in the third?
Not equal with every game.
Exactly. Yeah. The model won't be equal with every game.
Well, and I think that's the issue with the argument, right? If they raise the price to $100, okay, does that mean the microtransactions go away then in the fighting game?
No.
Because the answer to that is no. Like, we all know that. So if that's the case, it's not even an argument. Like, that's literally not an argument. It's not helping anything. They're literally just getting more money, like, straight up. So, like, I understand the idea that, yeah, obviously development's not free. Continuing to support a game is not free. But you know how you do it? To me, is the answer is that we have to grow the player base. Like, that's the solve for all these problems. Is there need to be more people that they can sell games to. You know, realistically, that's the answer to the whole equation. How do you do that? I don't have the answer to that question, but that's something that every single company should be thinking about if they're making a game.
I think we do have the answer for that question. Honestly, we saw it happen in the 360 and PS3 era. We saw it happen in the PS2 era, in the Xbox era. There was a game for every single person in those eras, and there's a game now for every single person in this era. The problem is there's more games than ever. The problem is the advertising and the expectations of said games. I like so like for movies, for instance, right?
Yeah.
And the reason I go to movies is because sometimes they have the same budget, if not higher budgets than video games. And like almost the reason why we don't see the movie industry goes through its flux. But I go into a movie theater, right? Let's say for Nosferatu, for instance. Let's see how much that movie cost actually. Nosferatu. Budget. Cost about 40 million to make, I think. Hold on, let me say. It cost 50 million to make. Nosferatu. The movie already surpassed, and it's already grossing worldwide $166 million. So we can actually compare that that budget to like Ghost of Tsushima, for instance.
Yeah.
And that game sold well over $50 million worth of budget or whatever. So
right.
Also on top of that, how did we get the reason why I think another reason why movies are more accessible, right, is because the price point. I can go into a movie theater, pay $10, $13, $15, $20 for a 2-hour experience. Maybe I come out satisfied, maybe I don't, but it's not that much of an investment. It's only like $20. Or me and my wife for $40, right? Or depending on the movie theater, what theater you go to, anywhere from $20 to $40 for that experience. I don't need a console. All I need is a car to get me there. That's it. You know, video games, on the other hand, I had to dish out $500 for a console, another $40 for the controller, another $10 for the internet, or not. I'm sorry, not $10. I'm sorry, $100 for the internet. $10 for the consoles service to play online, $10 to $15. Then you're asking for $70 on top of that just to play one fucking game. That's insane to me. Now, granted, a lot of those purchases, the $500 purchase, that's an upfront cost. That's like a one-time thing, right? But that's not going to bring in a lot more people, right? If I tell somebody, hey, man, I got this super cool game. Oh, I'm going to play it, but I can't afford a PS5 right now, man. You just lost a potential customer right there. And then they get the PS5, and then GTA 6 is out, $100. They like, I just spent $600 on a fucking PS5. Now I got to spend another $100 just to fucking buy GTA 6. I'm good, dog. And I got to have internet. Everybody has internet, but some people still don't, right? And I got to have good, decent internet because it's going to be a day one patch regardless. So I'm not even going to be able to play the game that day. There's so many barriers to get into gaming. It's actually insane when you think about it. It's actually insane that gaming is this big when you think about the actual barriers. And I don't think executives are thinking about that, or the industry as a whole, or even gamers are thinking about that shit. How hard it is to actually get into gaming. That's why I think PC gaming is so unrealistic for people. Well, just get a PC. It's no, we're not even talking about all the cost of. We talk about that all the time. Actually, me and you on this podcast, we are PC gamers and we hate it. We're like, bro, I built this PC and I fucking like I would rather game on my console. Like,
it's a pain in the ass. Yeah.
Yeah. So all these,
like, dude,
all these.
Like, yeah, I know. For instance, I did a fucking update today, actually. So yeah, no, this is funny. I did an update today on Windows 11 on my machine last night. I shut it down at the end of the night. I turned it on today. It's finishing the update. Turned my fucking computer on. None of my apps are loading. Like, I had to launch them all. The ones that launch on startup, I had to launch like half of them by like on my own. You know, it's like, oh, big deal, boo hoo, wow. But it's like, dude. Then I had all these sound issues with my fucking headset, you know, and like fucking like I had to fucking fix and shit. I'm like, fuck, you know, like
you work in IT, so it's like, bro, just imagine someone who doesn't work in IT.
Exactly, with this shit. That is exactly. And when we have these conversations with fucking Brad and Jet, I'm like, y'all are literally, I don't understand why you can't understand what the fuck is words coming out my mouth, like, like. You guys are like, oh, it's so fucking easy, bro. Like, okay, just because you think it's easy doesn't mean that 95% of the rest of the fucking world thinks something's easy. It's like that's just not the way the world works. When you go outside and run 30 miles, yeah, a fucking Olympic runner thinks that's fucking easy. Do you? No. You can't fucking run a mile. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, it doesn't work that way, you know? So it's like...
So like, yeah, we're saying all this because there are barriers to entry that can contributes to the stagnation of games. So when we see the hardware on going down all the time, right? Yeah, and right. It's like, now you want to, okay, well, that's why they're focusing on their core base right now or whatever. But that's why free to play games are so easy to get into, because they're free to fucking play. Like, I can tell Timmy or my little child, right? I can spend the $500 and then he gets Fortnite, Genshin Impact, all these other games for fucking free. I maybe give him $10 here and there to open up a fucking chest to get him some skins, and then he's playing the game some more. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. That's why free to play games work. Right. $100 for a game is insane to me. That's groceries, bro, for the week. What are you talking about? I'm not about to do that, bro. That's insane. Yeah, so the barrier to entry for video games, especially for newer people, are insane. So that's why I really think the reason why games were so accessible in the first place, especially during the 360 era and the PS3 era, game consoles. You remember when consoles got down to like $200, Justin? Like, yeah. You can legitimately buy a console, a legit console.
Yeah, dude, fucking PS2 generation was like that. Even the PS3 generation eventually got there.
Even the PS4 generation.
True, dude. True, yeah.
So That's what I'm saying. And
And
then
here
these
we are.
games
Here we are now, dude. You can't get a PS5 for less than like 400 almost. Like it's
exactly.
bad.
And then you want me to shell out $100, bro? You're out your fucking mind. I would take, and I'm not kidding when I say this. And I know this is a meme, but I genuinely mean this from the bottom of my fucking heart. I would take shorter games with worse graphics for the third of a price, and I'm not fucking kidding.
100%. I agree. I totally agree. I don't think games need to push the boundaries they're trying to push like anymore.
They don't.
I like you were saying about the horse balls, you know, in Red Dead Redemption 2. I think that's completely unnecessary to the enjoyment of the video game. It is a flex. That is all it is. It is just a programming flex. You are flexing when you put like shit like that in your video game. Like it, yes, you could argue in some degree, yeah, it's more immersive, blah 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 blah. But like, you take it out, you take that one thing out, literally that one thing out of Red Dead Redemption 2, it doesn't change the game at all. Like,
doesn't change the game at all. You know it's a programming flex to me.
Yeah.
Once again, I don't even like this game like that. Fucking Breath of the Wild. The control when you can magnetize different things, programmers were, and the way, you know, things were flowing and building together and all that stuff, programmers were fucking amazed. And they were like, how the fuck did they do this? Like, what the fuck is going on? I watched a programmer try to break this shit down, and he was just like, you guys really don't understand how hard it is to do this shit on the fucking Switch. He's like, this is insane. All the blocks and the physics and everything like that going into the shit. He's like, it's absolutely fucking insane. I don't know how they did this shit. Like, that's crazy. And that's what I'm talking about. Where I think that's why people look at Breath of the Wild as breaking the barrier, bro. That game broke the barrier, and it has the worst graphics in the last like 6 years, bro. Like, let's be honest. Like, you know, it's not groundbreaking indie graphics, but everyone looks at that game, they're like, they get it. It's a fucking video game. It's meant to have fun, and it broke ground in a way that gamers understand it broke ground in. You see what I'm saying? I feel like Elden Ring kind of did the same thing as well. The reason why gamers, I mean, it just took Dark Souls and was like, open world now, bro. Here you go. And like, they're like, everyone's like, this is what I wanted. This is exactly what I fucking wanted, right? And it's a video game. It's a fucking video game, bro. Like, I don't need. So okay, so. I'm sorry we're on this, right? But I remember this story. And I mean, my cousin, he's like an avid gamer. He got me into video games. He's like, I think he's like 4 or 5 years older than me, but he got me into video games.
Mm-hmm.
And this was years ago. GTA 4 dropped. And I wasn't even a big GTA fan like that. This is what changed me, changed my viewpoint on video games. He was like, Montrell, you don't even like GTA like that. Why'd you buy it? And I was like, I don't know, man. I saw everyone else playing on my. And remember, I don't know if you remember Xbox 360 playlist, but you can see what other people were playing, and it was just GTA 4, GTA 4, GTA 4, GTA 4. Yeah. So I bought it, and I was just like, I'm playing it or whatever. And he's like, why did you even play that game? And I'm like, you know, bro, I read reviews on it, and I was just like in complete denial. I hated GTA 4. That shit was so fucking boring, Justin. I took that game back. Bro, oh my God. That game was, people will argue with me to this day. GTA 4 was literally the most boring game I've ever played in my entire fucking life. Like, and I'm not joking. I took that game back the same week. Even people at GameStop, when I took it back, I was like, you have this back. They're like, whoa, bro, this is GTA 4. You're bringing it back? This is so cool, bro. I'm like, it's ass. I don't like it. Give me something else. And I bought something else. I can't remember what I bought with it. But I turned it for store credit and bought something else. Anyway, long story short, because there was a review, right? And the IGN review said, oh man, I'm amazed by, you know, the lifelike atmosphere of the world. I remember I was walking across the street as Nico, and there was an accident right in front of me. The car hit the other car, and the characters got the NPCs got out the car, examined each other's cars, exchanged insurance information. I heard the conversation and drove off. That actually happened in the game. I observed it too, right? Told my cousin that I was hyped too. I was like, man, bro, I saw these two NPCs got the car, bro. They crashed, exchanged insurance information, and drove off. He was like, okay, how does that make your game more fun? What about that was fun? Tell me.
Right.
I was like, I don't know. He's like, yeah, so you bought the game off hype and you bought the game off something that doesn't even make the game even more fun. How does that affect your gameplay? Did the insurance, did you do some kind of insurance fraud thing with that NPC? I was like, no. So you just observe NPCs crash and that's it. He's like, yeah. He's like, that's why I don't buy that fucking game. He was one of the first few gamers like I knew just buy games because he likes to play video games that are fucking fun. And it was like, this game's not fun to me. Like, I don't get games off hype. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I don't even know why I bought this game. I bought it off pure hype. Ever since then, never bought a game off hype. And but that's what I'm talking about. It's the horse balls all over again. Why the fuck do I care about horse balls, bro? Why the fuck do I care about NPCs that I can't see, that I'm probably never going to pay attention to? Maybe you are, and I understand there are YouTube videos, Justin, of people breaking this shit down. There's a YouTube channel called Crow Bat Cat or something like that, and he does this shit where it's the most mundane shit. He's like Far Cry 3 or Far Cry 2 is way better than Far Cry 3. Everybody loves Far Cry 3, by the way, but Far Cry 2 is much better. He throws like a napalm bomb in the grass, right? And then the grass field, all of the grass goes on fire. All right, my bad. I made a mistake and knocked my little cord out, and then my fucking voice meter thing, because I'm being animated over here. Anyway. I'm talking with my hands and everything, and y'all can't see that.
Talking with hands.
But yeah, so I don't even know where I left off at, but yeah, man, I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of that shit. The horse balls, insurance information, all that shit. Oh, there's a YouTube channel, Crawbat B, who breaks down like a lot of video games. He breaks down. He doesn't even say anything. He just shows a comparison from like one of the older video games to the newer video games. And like a lot of this shit that he shows, literally like 90% of the shit that he shows has no effect on the gameplay. Now there's like a couple 10% shit that does happen or whatever. Like in Far Cry, like I said, like at Far Cry 2, you can throw napalm in the grass, and then all the grass, which is a cool programming feature, all the grass comes on fire. And it's like a wildfire situation that happens. And it doesn't happen in the later Far Cries or whatever. I don't know how that affects my gameplay. It doesn't affect my gameplay at all. Now, there is another thing where, like you shoot an NPC or something like that, he'll call out to the other NPCs and all the other shit. Like, that may affect your gameplay. So I think that's cool, but it doesn't happen in the later games or whatever, right? They don't really have that kind of NPC interaction where you're like shooting characters in certain places and stuff like that. So like certain things like that, like I just think gamers got so obsessed with like the little details. And I don't know where it came from. Honestly, it's just weird to me. I don't like when you're playing the game. Do you just like look at the can and be like, oh my god, I can see the ingredients on this can that I'm probably never gonna look at or anything. It's like
rarely. I don't really care as much about that shit. Like in a game like Kingdom Come Deliverance is the kind of game where I'll observe those kind of things because it's trying to be immersive, right? The game wants to be immersive, so those kind of details can help a game achieve that. But when I'm playing like fucking Witcher or something, I don't fucking care, dude. It's like the game's not trying to be immersive like that. Even though I like managed to make that game immersive by like upping the difficulty and like all this stuff. It's like, I don't think the game was necessarily going for that specifically. It just seemed to have worked out with the way I was playing the game that it was very immersive for me. But so I don't know. It's like like when you play Mario or something, you're not looking for that kind of stuff, dude. Like
But there are people out there, whole YouTube channels dedicated to that type of shit, and it just
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
It's just there's no problem with it. I don't. It's just
I
like I
think it's
feel
a
like
problem.
let,
I
let's
honestly think it's a
okay.
problem.
Let's pull this back into the $100 conversation though. Like these things, these are the kind of things that matter with in terms of the budgets, right? When you build those things into your game, you're spending money to put that in your game.
Yeah,
I think that's the ultimate point you're trying to get to, right? Is that like
yeah,
this is a waste of money, waste of resources to put this shit in your game. Games could be cheaper if they just focus on the things that like make them a game, you know, like focused on the key core features. But these teams get bloated, the budgets get bloated, and then you end up filling your game with stuff that doesn't necessarily matter, doesn't impact the player, doesn't impact the gameplay, doesn't impact the enjoyment of the game, you know, and that's um another issue with the industry that, you know, could potentially be solved, you know. So
yeah. I mean, I agree. So yeah, um, yeah, that fucking technical difficulty throw my whole mojo off. But yeah, y'all got the point.
no, you're good. You're good. You're good. We do need to move on. We've been
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about this for like a fucking hour at this point. Because the next story, you're gonna go on another rant here in the next story. So
I don't think I am, but
okay,
yeah.
well let's move on to the next story. We'll see what happens here. So Bioware put on an update today, and I'll just read part of it here. So quote. Today, we are turning towards the future, preparing for the next chapter in Bioware's story. As we announced in August 2023, we are changing how we build games to meet the needs of our upcoming projects and hold ourselves to the highest quality standards. Now that Dragon Age The Veilguard has been released, a core team at Bioware is developing the next Mass Effect game under the leadership of veterans from the original trilogy, including Mike Gamble, Preston Watamaniuk, Derek Watts, Parrish Lay, and others. Blah blah blah. Given this stage of development, we don't require the full support. We don't require support from the full studio. We have incredible talent here at Bioware, and so we have worked diligently over the past few months to match many of our colleagues with other teams at EA that had open roles that were a strong fit. And I'll end the quote there. So basically, they're moving on. They're moving on. They're focusing on Mass Effect, on the next Mass Effect game. They did not lay anyone off, but they moved a bunch of people that they do not currently need to other teams within EA, essentially, is what they did. So this is a reduction in staff for BioWare specifically. It's not, again, not layoffs, but BioWare is losing staff. So, Montrell, your take on all this. How do you feel about this?
I think it's pretty sad. I actually don't think, I think this is a direct correlation to how Dragon Age sold. I mean, there was a story that came out that, Dragon Age didn't do too well.
1.5 million is the estimate.
And it's the estimate.
The projection that EA wanted was that they were hoping it would hit was 3 million.
Yeah.
Which
I think is reasonable.
to be fair to EA, actually, like I don't think their expectations are out of control there.
Yeah, I think that's actually reasonable.
That is actually a reasonable goal that I think the game could have hit in a different universe, because Dragon Age just sold a lot before. Like I think Inquisition was like, wasn't it like 11 million or something? Like
it was fucking crazy.
It's been big in the past, so that is not an unreasonable sales target to me personally.
Yeah. So that being said, I think, me personally, I think a lot of other contributing factors played a role in why Dragon Age didn't sell correctly, or it didn't sell the way it should have sold. I think it was like kind of political and everything like that, even though it had the same themes as Baldur's Gate 3. For some reason, everyone's up BioWare's ass though, and I will throw flack back at BioWare. I do think the writing was weak in the game.
Yeah, I think specifically, like to your last point as well. Like I think specifically the stuff with what was her name, Tosh, in the game.
Yeah,
where that character says the word non-binary at some point, which like there were better phrases you could have used to get that across in the game. This is a medieval fantasy game. We shouldn't be using modern terminology to describe that kind of thing. I think
Yeah, they
that's
definitely could have made something up
poor.
for that.
That's an example of the poor writing to me,
Yeah,
personally. But yeah,
yeah,
so,
exactly. And and in Baldur's Gate, they do have non-binary characters, but they don't say that. They
they
just
don't
do it off
describe it that way.
action. They don't
Yeah,
describe it that way. So that's where the immersion factor is being broken.
yeah.
On top of that, I do have some other quarrels with the game. This is why I only gave like a 7.5 out of 8, or 8 out of 10. I think the character design was very like scary, or they didn't take risk. Um, I'm not a gooner, but like, some of the character designs, like especially for the women, they were just like,
Montrell wanted some ass in his game, man.
yeah, man, like
It's just, I mean,
that,
true, dude, true. Every party's got to have one, right? Like, I feel,
I
I don't know.
mean,
I mean,
they
we
they
had
they
Miranda
intention.
in Mass Effect, bro. It's like,
Well, okay, so for instance, fuck, what's her name in Dragon Age? Is it Meredith?
Morgan,
Fuck, Morgana. Is it
no, not Morgana. We're thinking
Mor?
League, League brain,
Is it
bro.
Morith?
Morgan
Morgan.
from the
For
first game.
instance, right?
First game,
Yeah,
she's in all the games, isn't she? I think.
yeah.
But
She's in this one as well. So, uh, so Morgan in like the first games was like busty, right? I mean,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then in this
She
game,
literally propositions you at the end of the game. Like,
yeah,
like
and then in this game, they nerfed her tits like crazy. So it's like
that character rules. By the way, I love her in Dragon Age, the first Dragon Age Origins. Like, Morgan fucking rules. It's a great character.
no, it's a great character for sure, and I think she's good in this game too.
Yeah,
But like that's what the example. The game was trying to appeal to an audience that I think they don't understand. People still goon over those characters as well. Like, just because you're woke doesn't mean you're not a gooner. Like, a lot of
100%, bro.
Yeah, like if you knew how these people like ship characters together and like the way they draw the characters sometimes, it's actually fucking insane. It's just as bad. So I think they missed the mark on that as well. And yeah, like I don't know. Some of the characters are just like, I don't know, man. Like I like Tosh, for instance, the way her character talks and everything, the non-binary thing, like that's a really decent criticism. But the way she talks, where it's like just as a matter of fact, or not matter of fact, but like very technical, and it sounds like kind of robotic. That's her character. Because if you actually play with the character, you understand why she is. She's just a very literal character. Like that's her personality. She's like a literal person or whatever. You can say like it's raining cats and dogs outside, man. Whew, I'm wet as hell. And she'd be like, there are no cats and dogs outside. What the fuck are you talking about? Like that's her character, So it was a lot of clips that are out of context and everything like that nature. So I understand it, but I also understand that they need to write the characters better. Also, on the flip side of that, Mass Effect, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, KOTOR always had LGBT themes in their games. It's always been a core 100%. Of their games. So this whole BioWare's woke and the woke agenda, that never really I either they started the trend or it's just been a part of their core since the OGs, since like the Jade Empire days. So I don't really agree with that analysis at all. But I do agree with the way they could have written it better in the games. And I think this is where I was talking about the mentorship shit. Like, people need to have mentorships to understand how to write. If you want to get a point across, you can't just say like, like if I'm writing a character or whatever, like Static Shock is a good character and the cartoon's a really good character. They have ways of teaching lessons without like bashing the viewer over the head with it and everything. Yeah. Unfortunately, this game was bashing you over the head with it.
Well, you remember Andromeda, like like there, dude. It's like the joke we've made before about like characters being like, I'm gay, and it's like,
yeah.
nobody talks like that. Okay, you can't write a character like that. That is bad
not
writing. You
even
know,
gay
it's that
people
kind of thing.
come out and say I'm gay when you first meet them. Like they don't say stupid.
Nobody
shit like
says
that.
that. Nobody's gonna do
Says,
that.
yeah,
Like,
nobody
dude,
says shit like
nobody's
that,
gonna do
bro.
that. Nobody's gonna do that.
That's what I'm talking about. It's like sometimes even these people, it's almost like when like, and this is gonna sound racist, but I don't fucking care. I know you for like 8 years. I don't.
Okay.
I really don't care.
Okay.
It's almost like when
He's about
white
to
people
slam white people right now.
Yeah, it's almost like when white people write black characters and the characters
Oh,
are like,
okay.
I've been struggling as a black woman or man, and it's just a struggle for me. And it's like, bro,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
black people don't talk like that. We can be in the worst situation. Sometimes we just make a joke out of it. Like that's how we are sometimes, you know? So it's like not people don't really talk like that. And yeah, I feel like unfortunately with this Bioware game or with this Mass Effect thing, either they're trying to restructure or like actually nail down, like maybe with the smaller team they can nail down some stuff, and they don't want the Dragon Age team involved in it, or
I just think it means they're in trouble. Actually,
yeah,
like I think I think this is it, bro. Mass Effect's it. This is their last chance.
Yeah.
And I don't I don't have any faith in them to be able to pull it off because I think the premise of Mass Effect 4 is already flawed, you know. Like I don't think we need a game that takes place after Mass Effect 3. I don't necessarily want that. I'm not necessarily interested in that. Like there are elements to that idea that could be interesting. I like the idea of seeing what the universe looks like 600 years after Mass Effect 3.
I can read a book, man.
But yeah, but at the same time, there are elements to that are going to be an issue because they're going to have to pick an ending to Mass Effect 3 to tell their story. Like they're not going to incorporate choices. There's no way they're going to incorporate people's choices. I wouldn't think. So, given that, you're going to have to pick an ending and people are going to be unsatisfied with that from the jump. And then you're bringing back a character like Liara. They've already teased Liara as being in the game, which I guess is interesting, and that's going to be our connective tissue, you know, between the games. But they're going to have to do a really good job with writing in order to make that work, and I just don't trust them. Like it would be way more. I would be way more excited about a potential Mass Effect game if it was like about like the First Contact War with the Turians or some shit, you know. Like that would be fucking badass, dude. Like think about how cinematic that shit would be, you know? Where like humans are like exploring space and everything's peaceful and we're all happy and happy go lucky and everything, and then you run into this fucking alien ship that just blasts you into fucking smithereens, you know, and the humans are fucking freaking out. They're like, what the fuck? What is going on? Oh shit, you know, we think we're gonna get fucking destroyed or some shit. You know, it's like it could be badass. It could be so fucking cool. So I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna play the game, but I don't really care though. If it never comes out, I'm not gonna say that again.
You never played Andromeda, right?
Well, I didn't finish it. I couldn't get through the game. I couldn't stand it, dude. Like I literally tried. Remember, I did this on the pod. I tried. I gave it 30 hours, dude. I really fucking tried.
30 hours? Holy shit.
Yeah, it was 20 or 30 hours. I got through a couple planets, you know, and I just, bro, I couldn't fucking do it. The game was so bad. It just was awful. Like it was a soulless it was a soulless video game, man. The combat was good and that was it. Everything else about the game sucked absolute dick. Like I don't know. I may give it another try someday because I don't know if we're ever gonna get any more Mass Effect, you know. So it's like I might as well, you know, give it a shot. But
I think the problem they're also going against is Exodus. I mean, if that game comes out and it's good,
yeah,
I mean,
true.
You can kiss Mass Effect goodbye.
True. Bioware is not gonna match that potentially if that game is actually as good as it looks.
So yeah, I mean, as much as I just have to accept that the Bioware that we grew up with is gone. And I think
it's been gone. It's been gone. Yeah. Like it really has been gone.
And the IPs that that we grew up with and everything. I mean, we literally me and you connected over fucking Mass Effect. So it's like, I mean, this is this IP is probably going to die unless someone else brings it to the forefront or whatever the case may be. I heard people saying Larian Studios. I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to deal with the combat. I like CRPGs, bro, but I don't want it in my Mass Effect. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's sad to see.
Yeah, I think the shitty part about this whole situation is that if this ends up in Bioware getting closed, the saddest thing is that Mass Effect and Dragon Age, really Mass Effect, I don't really care about Dragon Age, but Mass Effect, I know other people do, so I'm lumping it in there because they would be sad about it. But like, yeah, I mean, they're on ice indefinitely at that point. Like, we might not see them for 20 years, like straight up. Eventually, EA may pull them out of the vault and get somebody on it, but it wouldn't be Bioware.
Ooh, here's another remaster, like
yeah. I mean, or a remake of Mass Effect 1 or something like that. Like I could see a game like that. Like that actually might be what Bioware should work on. That's what they should do. That's what they should do. Because that would get them in the mind space to make a Mass Effect game, right?
Yes.
And understand what makes that game so special. And then I think they could like that might be a way better approach actually, than just making Mass Effect 4, but obviously they're not doing that, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it's what it is. I don't know. I mean, what do you think is going to happen though? Do you think Bioware is done? Like, do you think they're going to be closed in 5 years, 10 years?
If this Mass Effect game doesn't pander out well,
yeah,
I think this is their last hurrah. Unfortunately, they're going to become a support studio for something.
True. Maybe, yeah, like maybe EI won't close them necessarily, but they're not going to make their own games anymore.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be a support studio for like DICE or something like that. Yeah. It's going to be sad. I mean, one thing we do know for sure though, that nothing live service from any company is coming out anytime soon. Or in the future. I mean, they may have projects that are already existing, but like I don't think anyone's going to take gambles on live servers. They're just too costly right now. So yeah, I mean the only other choice is just to close the studio. And I mean I'll be fair to EA. They gave BioWare, compared to other studios, a lot of fucking time, Yeah. So yeah, it is going to be sad though when they finally close. I mean, to be honest with you, I have no faith in Mass Effect, unfortunately. As much as I like Dragon Age, like I said, Veilguard. The thing about it is, man, if they can give me that like last 5 hours, the last 5 hours of Veilguard, dog, was so BioWare. It had flashes of the old BioWare in that last. You were making choices, bro, that were like affected you, and you're like, and I was just like, man, this is. I think everybody unanimously agrees that the last couple hours of Dragon Age Veilguard was like one of the best, in the entire game. But the problem was I didn't get that experience throughout the entire game, and I need those decisions throughout the entire game, because when you play Dragon Age 1, Dragon Age, even to a certain extent, Dragon Age Inquisition, I don't know, kind of Dragon Age 2, but by Mass Effect 1 through 3, you make those decisions, especially in Mass Effect 1 and 2, you make crazy decisions, man. And then in Mass Effect 3, you come to the climax and you're making crazy decisions before the game even fucking ends. And I mean, those games affect how you view the characters and how the characters view you and everything of that nature. Yeah, I don't know. They just played it. The game Dragon Age Veilguard was way too safe. I need them to be very, very, very bullish in Mass Effect. I don't need this Mass Effect to be safe. I need it to be bullish. And that was a problem with Andromeda as well. Andromeda was like super safe, very formulaic. Conversations were like, "Hey, Justin, how are you doing?" "I'm doing fine, Montrell. How about yourself?"
Yeah.
I choose an option. I'm kind of annoyed, or I am annoyed, but not annoyed at you. "Oh, I'm okay. I really didn't like when you left the glass on the table." Instead of being like, "Bitch, why did you leave this glass on the fucking table? Stop the glass, I'll slap you."
You remember the line, the "my face is tired" line or something like
Oh
that?
my god! Oh
Whatever
my
that dude.
god, dude! I'm
There were
sorry.
some
My
all
face is
timers and
tired.
there were some all timers in Andromeda, bro. Oh my god, what a game!
Yeah. So
Oh
I
shit.
just need the game to be a little bit more adventurous. I mean, and that's so you can fucking slap the reporter, dude. Like
Yeah.
in every game,
Hell
you
yeah.
can do
Hell yeah.
that. I just think that's fucking cool as fuck. So I don't know, man. Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Let's move on. Final story. Circana for December 2024 and the full year of 2024. So, for December 2024, total video game sales $7.543 billion versus $8.282 billion in 2023. That is a 9% decrease year over year. Full game content. This is game sales, DLC microtransactions, consumers, subscriptions, etc. 5.761 billion in 2024 versus 6.054 billion in 2023. That's a 5% decrease. Video game hardware 1.112 billion in 2024 versus 1.555 billion in 2023. That's a 29% decrease. And then video game accessories 671 million in 2024 versus 673 in 2023. It's basically flat. And then for the full year to year comparison, 58.659 billion in 2024 versus 59.294 billion in 2023. That's a 1% decrease. And then video game content, 50.639 billion in 2024 versus 49.850 billion in 2023. That's a 2% increase. Then video game hardware, 4.854 billion in 2024 versus 6.453 billion in 2023. 25% decrease there. And then video game accessories, 3.166 billion in 2024 versus 2.992 billion in 2023. It's a 6% increase. So Montrell, the hardware, huge decrease in hardware year over year. I don't know how surprising that necessarily is with the Switch kind of on its way out. And PlayStation 5 sales and stagnating a little, and then Xbox kind of cratering completely. Not a huge surprise that hardware didn't do very well, but otherwise, I mean, mostly flat, a slight decrease in total sales. What do you think?
It makes sense. I mean, there's nothing. To be honest with you, there's nothing really to drive people to buy video games anymore, or right now. And I think, I just think video games need to be a little bit more cheaper for people to get into.
Yeah, yeah, and I just don't think it's an exciting time for game design. You know,
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of derivative games, and we were talking about this with DJ earlier. It's just like this is another issue the industry has right now, and this is a very real thing. I feel like that I just don't think like there's games that are exciting, but I think overall most of those games they're just not coming out now. Like they're going to be coming out in the next year or 2 years or 3 years, and it's just like I feel like the stuff coming out now is, or at least like in the last couple years, has not been super exciting. They're not bad years. I don't think 2023 or 2024 were necessarily bad years. There were really great games in these years, but I don't think we were seeing a lot of just like innovative stuff necessarily, though. The reason people grabbed onto Baldur's Gate 3 so hard is because it's like, it's different. It is different. As much as I personally have played games like this in the past on PC, and a lot of people have, it's been a very long time since we've had one of that caliber, and that ultimately ends up making it fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right. Top 20 best-selling games in the US for December 2024. Number 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Number 2, Madden NFL 25. Number 3, EA Sports College Football 25. Number 4, EA Sports FC 25. Number 5, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Number 6, Sonic X Shadow Generations or Cross Shadow Generations. 7, Hogwarts Legacy. 8, Astrobot. 9, Minecraft. 10, NBA 2K 25. 11, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. 12, Elden Ring. 13, Marvel Spider-Man 2. 14, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. 15, Helldivers 2. 16, Mario Kart 8. 17, Mario and Luigi Brothership. 18, God of War Ragnarok. 19, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And 20, Just Dance 2025 edition. What is jumping out to you there, sir?
Just Dance. What the fuck?
Yeah, man. Hey, man, that series is popular.
Yeah, you're right.
One of Ubisoft staples, actually.
I know. It just I don't know who's buying these games. Who's buying these
I don't
games?
Don't know. Do not know. I've never met a single person who's ever played or bought Just Dance. Never in my life. But
me neither.
Millions of people buy it every year. So
yeah, maybe it's one of those games. Well, these are U.S. numbers, so I was like, so maybe it's one of those games that's like outside of the U.S., but this is U.S. numbers, so I don't fucking know, man. It's crazy.
I think it is outside the U.S. because it's very rarely on the chart. Honestly, it's not a game that charts often. So, yeah, I do think it's actually a game that's fairly successful outside the U.S. But, I mean, yeah, your usual suspects: Call of Duty, Madden, EA, 2K. So 2K25 is on here at 10. And we'll get into this later. Like, they're high on the full year list. What like, were we missing data for them or something? Because I remember we talked about this like last month, like what's going on with 2K, and here they are. They're like, they're not super high on the list, but they're here, and like I felt like they weren't on the list last time or something like that. Like, was that like a error or an omission by Circana or something like that?
They definitely were on the list all year. I'll be honest with you. Like,
yeah, I don't remember seeing them. So it's like the data just came in or something. They finally counted the votes. It's like,
I mean, it sold 4.5 million copies, but this was in November.
Gotcha.
So
okay,
I mean,
yeah. A lot of just some of the popular shit from the last couple of years too, like Hogwarts Legacy, Elden Ring, Spider-Man 2. You got Mario Kart 8 in there again, God of War Ragnarok, which I think came out on PC actually. I think that's why that's on the list. But so it is December. It's not a lot of new game releases ultimately, so not a super surprising month. But all right, best-selling games for the year. This is probably the more interesting list. Number 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Number 2, EA Sports College Football 25. Call of Duty actually caught him. They caught him. Number 3, Helldivers 2. Number 4, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Number 5, NBA 2K25. Number 6, Madden NFL 25. Number 7, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Number 8, EA Sports FC 25. Number 9, Elden Ring. 10, EA Sports MVP Bundle. 11, Hogwarts Legacy. 12, Dragon's Dogma 2. 13, WWE 2K24. Number 14, MLB The Show 24. 5, Grand Theft Auto 5. 15, Grand Theft Auto 5. 16, Minecraft. 17, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. 18, Tekken 8. 19, Marvel Spider-Man 2. And 20, NBA 2K24. Is this not the most depressing list you've ever seen in your fucking life?
Yes.
Like,
I do want to call out something here.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Dragon Ball Sparking Zero sold 3 million copies the first 24 hours of release.
No, that game is the one that sticks out to me on this entire list. Number 4 for the year is crazy for that game.
Yeah.
Like that, it outsold NBA 2K25, Madden NFL 25. And NBA 2K25 didn't include digital sales for October through December, so that has an impact here. I mean, it might have overtaken Dragon Ball in that case, but still, I mean, it overtook Madden, which is impressive. EA Sports FC, I mean, it sold more than that. Like, holy shit, dude. That's significant. Like, that game fucking killed. Holy shit. Like, congratulations to them on that.
Mm-hmm. Reluctantly, congratulations to them on that.
Oh, what? Do you not like the game? I haven't played it. I've heard really good things about it. I've heard really good things about it.
It's not that I don't like the game. I do like the game.
You just don't like Bandai.
I don't like Bandai. I don't like the precedence this is going to set for anime games in the future.
Okay. But Montrell, like, can I just say, like, I understand what you're saying, and I know where you're coming from, but compared to the rest of this list, this is like a shining beacon
No.
relatively speaking. It's
I
not a
this
fucking
is
sports game, and it's not Minecraft, it's not Grand Theft fucking Auto. It's
I totally I understand that, and this is even not even a slap at that game, right? Because I haven't played the game, but from what I understand, I heard nothing but positive things about the game. And I heard if you were going to do another animated arena fighter, this is how you do it, right?
yeah,
And they were the OGs of this genre, like even before Ninja Storm, right? Everyone goes back to Ninja Storm, but this was
yeah,
Tenkaichi
correct.
was
Yes,
the
100%.
staple.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is nothing but Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 4, in my opinion.
Hmm.
And they did this game justice. They did the Dragon Ball franchise justice and all that shit. So I do not hate the game for what the game is or what it I hate the game for what it represents in the future. Cuz now we're not going to get, in my humble opinion, like other anime games are not going to try to do something different or anything of that nature. They're just going
You
to,
think they're gonna copy this game?
yes, 100%. We're going to get, it's a whole new era of arena fighters again.
Mm,
Um,
I
so
see.
that's
Yeah, I
not
get
going
this. I
anywhere.
get the cynicism. I do get the
Yeah,
cynicism.
yeah. So I'm not
Um,
trying to downplay it, but I do agree with you. Out of this entire fucking list uh, of sports games and Call of Duty games,
I mean,
uh,
what are the cool ones on this list? Helldivers 2, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero,
well,
fucking
even that, right? Even Helldivers 2 is a shooting game. I love Helldivers 2, by the way. Don't get me wrong. It's
yeah.
just another shooting game though. Either it's a shooting game or a sports game. And it's like,
So then that leaves like Elden Ring, Dragon's
yeah,
Dogma 2, Final Fantasy
Hogwarts
7
Legacy.
Rebirth, and Tekken 8, and then maybe I guess Hogwarts Legacy also. It's like 5 games. It's otherwise it's COD, sports, Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto 5. Like fuck. What are y'all doing? Okay? It is 20 fucking 25. Who still needs to buy Minecraft and Grand Theft Auto 5? Who? Who out there needs to buy these fucking games? Explain it to me. What are you doing?
Hey, at least Mario Kart 8's down on the list.
It is for the month. Fucking what? Who still needs these games? Okay, like Jesus, I don't understand it. Why is it charting for the fucking year, dude? For the year, Minecraft and Grand Theft Auto 5, dude.
You
Like,
have the dead internet theory, right? I think there's like a dead gaming theory. There's no way these are real people buying this game.
like
bro.
it's bots or something, right? It's gotta be. They're pumping the numbers, bro. There's no way. There's no goddamn way people are still buying Minecraft. I don't understand. Like, Jesus.
I thought it was free. I thought Minecraft was free.
Apparently not. It's apparently not. It is definitely not free. This is money's made, so it's not necessarily copies sold per se. So but I don't think that includes DLC microtransactions for any of these games. So I don't think that's involved in this calculation. So these are people buying the fucking game, man. Like, dude, GTA 5 you can get for like fucking $5 on a sale, can't you? At this point, like,
Yeah, and that probably contributes to the sales. But
like
you talking
how
about this is dollar amounts though. So
Yes. So if that's true, if what I just said is true, that means a significant number of people are buying the fucking game. You know? I just
I really do think there are people who are super fans of games and they just buy like 20
like
copies of one game.
on every platform they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Minecraft on my Switch, on my computer, on my fucking PlayStation,
I
on
mean,
my
because
Rogue Ally, on my fucking whatever the fuck.
I'm not gonna lie, right? I bought Devil May Cry Collector's Edition, Devil May Cry 3 Collector's Edition, or no, just Devil May Cry Collector's Edition in general.
Yeah.
I have it on my Xbox and my PC. I almost bought it for my PlayStation,
Okay.
but I have it for
I
my
can
PC
respect that.
and I have it My Switch. I just got Devil May Cry 3 on my Switch though. That's
Yeah.
because they did a different version for it.
Look,
As
you
you
love
know.
Devil May Cry, dude. And look,
Yeah.
this isn't. You're not doing this with COD, okay? Like you are not part of the problem.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I can see how. Oh, okay, maybe not COD. I don't think I can buy COD 4 times. I don't think I
Doesn't
can
the
buy
game
COD.
have cross-platform? Why would
Yeah,
you buy the fucking game 4 times? Like what the fuck? What is wrong with people, dude? Like, oh my god, bro.
because I bought Devil May Cry 3, the collector's edition, right? I bought that on the
Yeah.
Xbox 360, and then it was backwards compat on the Xbox, so that's why I have it on
Yo,
there. And then I bought it again. Yeah, then I bought
dude,
it again on PC. That
bro,
was
this
like
hurts my
5 years later.
soul. No, Montreal. Okay, dude, it's
But
2025, right? Like,
but is
if
but like Mario Kart 8, right?
yeah, yeah.
I'm not. There's no reason to buy multiple copies of Mario Kart 8. I
What do you mean? You got like 4 Switches? You for all your kids. You need a copy for each of them.
okay, that's a good point. That's actually a good point, Justin.
Yeah, you
That's
can't
probably,
share that. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Grand Theft
Maybe
Auto does not have that excuse. By the way, hopefully. But dude, it's 2025. Grand Theft Auto 6 is likely coming out this year. If we get to the end of the fucking year and the Grand Theft Auto 6 and Grand Theft Auto 5 are on the year end Circana for 2025, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I feel like I need to like do something drastic, you know? Like it's that's nonsense if that happens.
I don't know, man. I mean, we see it with COD all the time. Remember, it was COD like 2 and then 3
Yeah.
in the same year. Hell, it might have been this year. It might have been last year.
No, it's like that every year, dude. Modern Warfare 3's on here. It's number 7 fucking year, dude.
Yeah, so I feel like we see that with Call
What
of
the
Duty
fuck,
games all the
dude?
time.
We had a year. I'm pretty sure we had a year where 3 years of COD were in the best selling for the year. Like, it's fucking like, dude. My takeaway from this is y'all need to do something else, okay? Like, stop playing these same games. You know? God damn. We are part of the problem, bro. The reason the industry is trying to charge $100 is because fucking lemmings are buying these same fucking games over and over again. You know, like every year, it's like clockwork, same song and dance. We've been talking about this for fucking 6 years, bro. You know, it's too much. I can't.
We've been doing this. Yeah, we've been talking about it for 6 years, but Call of Duty's been on top for like the last
15, 20 years almost, dude. We went over it. Remember? It was the last 20 years of games. Like literally there was like 2 years where COD wasn't number 1. And it was Rockstar games those years, you know, and then Hogwarts Legacy actually in 2023. Like holy shit, dude. Oh, and Elden Ring actually. Didn't Elden Ring outsell?
Yeah, Elden Ring did outsell,
Yeah.
I think.
So we've actually had a couple examples of non-COD recently, but 2024 was not it, bro. There was nothing. I mean, Helldivers was the only thing that was going to be close, realistically, and that game fell off really hard in the back end of the year. So,
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what we can do. We're not popular enough, but I feel like even popular platforms, when they talk shit about Call of Duty, they don't really
they
mention
get
it.
like shadow banned on fucking YouTube or something.
Well, people would like defend it weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Like they're like, well, actually, the Call of Duty is actually pretty good, man. I mean, have you checked out the single player this time? And it's like, I don't care. I don't know.
The characters literally look like you're pressing the fast forward button. Like, it's just
Dude.
not a real shooter, dude. I'm sorry. I hate COD. I can't stand COD. Like, I'm literally like, our friend group has tried multiple times. They're like, yeah, guys, let's get into COD. I'm like, I'm not playing COD. Have fun, guys. And then nobody plays COD. So I kind of feel bad, actually. Because
the only person that plays is the Snakes.
Snakes,
he
yeah.
Yeah. But no, I can't get into it either anymore. Like, I tried to get into it, Modern Warfare 2, and I played it, and I was just like, this isn't the same game I used to play. So after Modern Warfare 2, like the actual remake, I played it. After that, I was like, yeah, no, I'm good on this. I'm good on this. Um, and then I think I just
Doggone.
watched. I think I watched because I really wanted to see how the story ended in Modern Warfare 3, and it actually ended terribly. I watched that on YouTube. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like franchise, in my opinion, is not good, but I know a lot of people will disagree with me. Even people who still play it, who love video games and play different other video games, they
Yeah.
still go back to COD as well, and they play it and they love it.
Yeah.
Um,
Look,
I'm
I'm
just
not.
out of
I'm
it,
not.
bro.
I can say with a clear conscience, I am not part of the problem when it comes to Call of Duty. I have never spent a single fucking cent on a Call of Duty game ever, and I've played maybe an hour of Call of Duty in my fucking life. So I am not part of the problem. Okay, it's the
I
rest of you. It is the rest of you.
I totally understand, and
Yeah, and it's never gonna change. I have resolved. It is a principled stance I have. I am never playing COD in my fucking life ever. I'm
well,
not
I'm
doing
done
it.
with. I've been done with the series. I
Yeah,
thought when they were talking about Modern Warfare, like the remake and everything, how they were going to return
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
the player base is just too. They got mad because Call of Duty 2, Modern Warfare 2, I think, was too slow. Like the way the maps were designed and everything, it was
yeah,
too slow, um, and everything. And they really want that amped up on crack, twitching everywhere, sliding everywhere
yeah,
combat. And I'm
yeah.
just like, this is not for me, man. Like if I want like sliding combat, I want really good gunplay. I feel like the player base of COD will love Apex and Titanfall, but they just
Yeah.
don't want to give that game takes skill because the time to kill is not high. So
Yeah.
you gotta actually aim and besides doing like two shots and then the person's dead, you gotta actually like sh- strafe and kill people and stuff like that and use strategy. And they don't like that type of shit, bro. That's why I think Halo died because Halo
They
was
don't want to.
like,
They don't want a tactical shooter. Yeah.
well, it's not even a tactical shooter. It's just like they don't want a shooter where the player has a chance. They want to be the first. I see you first. I shoot you. You die. That's the
Yeah.
game. That's the skill right there. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry. Well, even that, right? Counter Strike. Counter Strike is literally that, but that takes a hell of a lot more skill than like Call of Duty, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Counter.
Yeah.
When you see people play Counter Strike 2, it's like, what the fuck? Like, as soon as they see somebody, boom, that person's dead. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but they don't want to do that. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just when I saw them playing X Defiant as well. Like, oh my god, X Defiant! Look at the movement. Look at the slutty. Look at oh my god.
Oh my
I'm just
goodness, bro.
I was just like, all right, man. Like I will go back to Apex. Apex
Thank you very
has
much.
yeah has some of the
Yeah.
best gunplay I've ever played in a video
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
bar
For sure.
none.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just to make sure you guys know, I got to hit my ego here. Okay, I'm not part of the problem with COD, but I am part of the problem with the rise of gotcha games. So
Yes.
I'm gonna
Yes.
take my lumps there. Okay,
Yes.
I am part of the
You
problem there.
are
I
the
don't have a
reason
clear
why
conscience.
Honkai Star Rail is still
Absolutely, 100%. Hey, bro, I haven't played that game in
2 days. So no, just
fuck off. No, I think it was June last year. I think I got back into it
well,
and dropped it again.
you playing Wuthering Waves now. I mean,
Now, yeah, but okay, but Woo was
I'm
a respectable gotcha game. Okay, they're not as
you
it's not.
you stopped drinking Coke and now you're drinking Pepsi.
No, no, it's more like I'm drinking RC Cola now. Okay, like
Okay.
Genshin's Coke, Honkai Star Rail's Pepsi. They're made by the same company in this case, in this analogy. But no, I mean, Wu was a Gooner game too, dude. You got the booby jiggle physics all like going wild, bro. It's crazy in this game, man. Like Jesus Christ.
Well, no, see, that's why
Um,
I consider that game Pepsi. I consider Honkai Genshin Impact fucking Coke, and
yeah,
then the RC Cola of the games. is the tower. I think it's called Tower of Fantasy or Tower of God.
True, dude. Is that game still going? Is that game
Yes,
even still going?
I still get notifications because like I played it in
You
my
played it
PlayStation.
once, yeah, so it's like permanently stamped on your fucking algorithm. Oh, yikes, dude. Yikes, man. I'm never down bad enough where I'm playing Tower of Fantasy, man. Like, okay, like that one, I avoided that one. Okay, thank God.
Yeah, that was a bad one because I was waiting for Wuthering Waves. So
yeah,
that was a bad one.
But no, yeah, I'm definitely part of the problem there. So trust me, guys. I know. Don't worry. It is what it is. We all have our vices, don't we?
I mean, yeah, we're part of the problem with Monster Hunter, and there are fucking 5 versions of Monster Hunter they release every fucking year. So.
You know what I miss, actually?
We bought it on the Switch and the PC.
Yeah, we got baited, dude. We got baited by fucking Andy, I think, dude. Like, he wanted to play on PC. And it's
we did I put 120 hours into it on PC. I think my
but we got baited. Okay, like the game sucked. some break or whatever the fuck. Like, dude, the end game was shit. Okay.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right.
The monsters were pink and they had random explosion zones, like they're fucking irradiated bears in Fallout or some shit. Like, what was going on there? Like, what in the fuck? Okay, I'm fighting a fucking, Tigrex, and all of a sudden its fucking hand explodes. It's like, what the fuck?
I just think people were trying to gaslight us. I talked to people about Sunbreak, and they were like,
trolls.
Actually, man, I love that in game of Sunbreak.
They're fucking trolling, dude.
I think it's the best. I think it's the best in years. I'm like, did we play the same game?
Dude, fucking troll, just a complete troll nonsense. Like, dude, I was thinking earlier when we were talking about fucking, I don't remember, might have been Monster Hunter, but I was thinking back to Generations. You remember when we were playing Generations? Like, dude, that for me, that and Iceborne, I think, are peak Monster Hunter in my life. Like, those 2 periods, because we went so hard on both those games. It was fun as fuck. Both of them were fun as fuck. Like, all fuck, Generations was.
We left Andy and Dennison behind. We were playing that shit like in the lobby of the work, man.
Dude, Generations was crazy, bro. You remember that fucking Yian Garuga or whatever the fuck, where it had like the super speed charge, the like deviant form or whatever it was called. Yeah. Like that shit was fucking sick. Dude, its eyes would glow before it would charge at you. It was crazy. That shit ruled, man. I fucking lost it. Like, that shit was awesome, bro.
No, y'all don't understand. We were taking lunches with each other. Like, you ready to play? Like,
oh my god, bro! We're literally in the work cafeteria pulling the switches out, dude. Like doing a couple hunts. Like we were down bad for Monster Hunter Generations, man. It was fucking wild. But hey, man, it's good times. It's good memories. Like, I hope Wilds can bring that back. Because Rise was such a fucking flop for our friend group. It's not even funny. Like, it really was a flop. It sucked. Like, it was a big disappointment. There were some cool new monster designs in Rise. Don't get me wrong, actually. I think a lot of the new monsters in Rise fucking rule.
Yeah.
But it just was the game overall. The end game sucked, dude. Like, it sucked in the base version of the game and it sucked in Sunbreak. And unfortunately, that's what's going to keep you going in Monster Hunter. And it's just like, I just don't feel like they're very good at it for the most part. Iceborne was like the one time where I really kind of got into it, a little bit with the guiding lands and stuff. So I'm hoping Wilds similarly can at least keep us occupied, but we'll see. There's no G rank, so the good shit's not going to come till G rank probably.
Yeah.
Anyways, with that game. So yeah. All right, Montrell. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we head out today?
Nope, that's it.
Or is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 ratings out yet? I don't think so.
I don't know yet.
Let's see. Nope, not yet. It'll be next week. February 4th is when the game comes out. I am not going to be ready for this game, so we'll see. But all right, let's get the hell out of here. If you guys like this episode, please like the show, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please Subscribe to us on YouTube. That would help us out. If you'd like to interact with either of us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage. For Montrell, that is the number 4, not the word. I'm at ThunderNut01, and the show is at The Player's Take. If you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And that will be it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We will see you next week. Bye.